Oh, by the way, everybody, since you can see display capture here, whoever is streaming out there, make sure that when you're streaming, like right now, I just want to leave it on just to remind myself I have the display capture on. But when you're streaming whatever games you are, make sure that you always disable the preview. Once you're like up and going, get that shit out of the way in OBS because it will actually cause a little extra like processing power because you got to think that it's like trying to showcase what you're doing again on a different screen. So yeah, so you want to always make sure that when you're streaming, you disable the preview once you're good. And that should help you, especially if you're just on a one PC type thing. So that should help you out. Also, for any of you, I don't have the webcam active right now, but for any newbies out there that are making this mistake, if you have a webcam, make sure that the resolution is not default. So I try to match as close as I can to what is it, 16 by 9 at a really low resolution, and then I stretch it to fit the sponsor box, etc. that I have. But what happens is when you're running at 1920 by 1080, it is like it actually really affects the webcam because then essentially what it's doing is it's like trying to act as if the webcam is the entire screen that you have, and so it's pouring so many resources into running the webcam at the same time as everything else. So you want to lower the resolution so that it just only runs that much, and then you like stretch it as needed. So it's like the opposite way. So then it goes from like activating lower to expanding to more, rather than constantly reading at an expanded rate, even though it's like shrunk down. So that'll help people too. Otherwise, there's plenty of other tips from other streamers. But yeah, so let's get into this, shall we? Okay. I would consider streaming 120 FPS. I know exactly the player in the community I would hit up to try to get the proper settings to do that. But the thing is, if I stream at that FPS and I tell there's a lot of input lag that it creates, since I'm only streaming off one computer, then I would not do it. Then I would just do what I've been doing, is 60 FPS at 720 at 6000 bit rate. I would go back to that. So, because I have the connection to do it. The connection's not the issue. It's just certain settings cause different input lag. Like, even though I have a really, really good processor, I tried to see if like running OBS through the X264 instead of the NVENC settings would work a few weeks ago to try to maybe fix the problem that happens on Deep Embrace, but then it added a whole bunch of input lag. And it's like, when I'm streaming my practice, and I need to make sure that I'm getting the utmost out of it. So I was like, well, regardless of whether it fixed it or not, I can't do that. It prohibits my gameplay too much. So I just went back to using it mainly going off of the video card. So, okay. So we're getting into the picks and bans here. So for the servers, the delta was lower on EU between us, so we played EU for maps 1, 3, and 5. And so only 2 and 4 were on NA. And so that meant that I got to choose whether to pick or ban. So I decided to ban. And so, as I won't go into the details, but I banned Ruins again in this set. And then VengeuR decided to ban Exile, which is fine. I figured he would probably ban either Veil or Exile. He's been playing well on Deep Embrace, so I figured out of the 2 new maps, he probably would leave that one on the table. It fits his style pretty well. And I guess he just wanted to choose to get rid of potential randomness of one of us falling in the pit. And so that's why he opted out for that. And who knows? I don't know how much practice he had on the map. Like I said, there were quite a few Europeans that stopped streaming all of their practice going into this playoffs, and he was one of them. So it's not like I had any info outside of the weekly matches on whether he was playing it really hard or not. But so yeah, so that's what he decided to go with. So I picked Corrupted Keep, even though even though he's very, very good on Corrupted Keep, I tend to edge out the map um, time and time again, even if it, just by a little bit. I tend to have the right pick for the scenario, whether it's like first or second map. So it doesn't really matter whether I can pick first or if I'm counter picking. I tend to play well against him, and it really just comes down to, I think, that the consistency I have in timing the items throughout the game allows me to find like one or two more mistakes that he makes compared to myself throughout the game, and that ends up being the difference in the scoreline is like one or two frags. Because VengeuR's rockets on Corrupted Keep are honestly, they're incredible. There are so many games I've seen of him where he is out of control, and he should be like every other player at the point where he's going to die, and then he's going to have to give up a few to come back, and then he just pulls off such amazing prediction and spam to buy him space and to potentially offset control. It's pretty incredible, to be honest. I think right now he has the best rockets when it comes to playing on Corrupted Keep out of anybody in the world at the moment. So since I was able to ban first, I know that VengeuR along with Razy is very, very good at clutch. And just between like VengeuR and my playstyles, I just wanted to get rid of clutch right away, even though I don't expect him to pick it on Corrupted Keep, because I want the draft to be a little less random against him. I want it to be to where, okay, we don't get to like a map 2 to 4, and then it's like really awkward whether I ban clutch or not. And it's like if I ban another champion, he picks clutch, and it's a hard matchup. If I ban clutch and he picks another champion, then that champion doesn't really have as much of an equal counter pick at that stage in the draft. So just going into it, I was like, I don't want to even leave it on the table for him. Like, he's just so good at it. I was like, I'll just eliminate it right away. And whatever he decides to pick at the start, whether it's BJ, Strogg, Galena, Eisen, Keel, Sorlag, whatever, there's so many good picks on Corrupted that you can pick first that are like safe ones. I have good things that I want to either A, just pick to have a good chance in that matchup, or even pick it and deny him for maps going forward. So he decided to pick BJ, which I think was pretty smart because a lot of people have been leaving it up for me, and I've just been playing so well with BJ on Corrupted Keep for so long. I think it was really smart for him to take it, and this is the first time when we've played on this map that he has played BJ. In the past, it's always been him picking like he'll pick a Doom or Strogg or Galena on this map, but he was trying to take away a strength of mine. So this is something that VengeuR has improved upon over the past year, is his draft phase and just overall balance of how many champions he's good at and what he can play. So there's a few picks that I like into BJ. I like on this map, like especially when it's the first pick. I think Keel can do well against BJ because of the stack, the splash damage reduction, as well as like when BJ pops dual wield, sometimes like all it takes is just hitting one grenade and it pops BJ at the right area, and then he can't follow up with any damage, and it kind of puts him out of position on the map. So he's a good pick for that, especially with the starting stack that you have, so that even if you die, sometimes you can come back and you're not out of control, and BJ can't get that full rotation going. Other good picks against him can be Ranger, because then Ranger can really force close range fights, and then he can use the orb to either engage and potentially burst BJ down before he can use the dual wield effectively, or you can use the orb as a distraction method and an escape option. That could potentially be good. But playing Ranger into that also, like if you get zoned out by BJ pretty well and you're fighting from mid range all the time, BJ will win that because the hitbox is better, and with BJ's passive of being able to restore health after taking like machine gun trades, Ranger will lose those every time. So if you're not finding ways to work your way in, then BJ can definitely come out on top because he will out aim you. Eisen is good against it, which is what I picked. Well, Eisen's more like a 50-50 against BJ, and that's what I ended up picking in the finals against Cypher because of what was left on the board. Then Strogg is also a good pick. It's like a 50-50 battle, but I wanted to leave it up potentially for the next map. And that's why I didn't pick Strogg. I was like, you know what? I want to take Keel away from him. I don't want him to play as many tanks just with how hard he's been hitting, so I decided to play that. which then goes into the next map where he has the ban, and sure enough, he decided to ban Strogg. And so going into this, I was either going to pick, I was likely going to pick Strogg, Scale, or Sorlag, depending on whatever matchups. And since he banned Strogg, I decided to pick Scalebearer, and Scalebearer into Ranger is it's a pretty even matchup. And to be honest, with the matchups that I had in this tournament with Scale versus Ranger, um, it's hard to explain, but I was getting hit a lot harder than usual, so I was taking even more damage than usual. Like both players, when they played me, were LGing above 50% and railing like 60+%. Where it actually is pretty difficult to do that and to do effective damage all the time, because you can use Scale's charge to reduce damage and take over space. Because Ranger has one of the biggest hitboxes of the mediums. So even though you're a tank, like you can potentially out bully Ranger, because if you get into LG range and shotgun range, like you can deal just as much damage because his hitbox is pretty big to balance out the amazing passives and ability that he has. So that's why I went with what I went. Then on Vale, I decided to ban Eisen because he's been playing very well with Eisen. And so I got rid of it, and he decided to play Sorlag. And I was like, okay, well, I want to try to match the dot damage. I don't really have any other champ. There's no tanks left to play into it. Ranger's not available. At the time, I didn't want to play Galena into it. I just didn't feel like that would be the right choice at the time.
Great games this finals, man.
Well, thank you. I'll get to that after the games. I appreciate that. So I decided to pick Death Knight since he's been improved upon and see what I could do there. And then going into Deep Embrace, this is a really hard choice for him to make. And I get why he banned Doom, because a pick that he would likely make into Doom if he allowed me to pick it first would be Ranger, but Ranger's off the board because he had to already choose it. And playing Athena into Doom can be okay, but it's a risk. Because if Doom gets that full control going, it can be so difficult and you can get zoned out for way too long as Athena, and it just forces you to have to hit everything. So I like the ban that he made, but at the same time, he's like, fuck, what do I do? Like, if I ban Doom, I give him Athena. If I ban Athena, I give him Doom. So he just had to choose the lesser of two evils that he thought he could deal with. So he banned Doom, and so I insta-locked Athena. I knew that he would likely play Anarchy over like Nyx into the matchup, because Anarchy actually, once it comes to Deep Embrace being like the 3rd through the 5th map, he's a really good pick on this map. He's actually very good. So I knew like in this matchup I would have to use my mobility to try to secure extra frags and or like bait out the injection and create distance to try to win this. And this was a really fun matchup to play. And then on this one, it was just kind of like I didn't have a lot of good options left. It was the champs on the board were Slash, Nyx, Visor, and Galena. And, Slash isn't very good on Awoken. She's just okay. And the thing is, even if you pick Visor into Nyx, Nyx is better on Awoken than Visor. So even though Visor on some maps can be a good counter to her, on Awoken it's not so much because of her mobility to be able to traverse and control the central area of the map. It can buy her so much time that even though she can like move towards certain areas of the map to make it very difficult to find her, and she can get her invis back again and again. So that's why I didn't want to leave that on the board for him. He's a very, very good Nyx player. So I decided to ban it and just take more of like, honestly, in this matchup, I think Galena is better. I figured he would pick it, but instead of it being a 60-40 matchup or like a 70-30, I was settling for like 55-45, which gives me a better chance. So that's why I thought about doing that, and that's why that ended up being the draft that we had. And fortunately for me, we didn't even have to go to the 5th map. I managed to close it out in 4. But there's a lot of thought process that goes into the pick and ban phase, and a lot of it depends on your opponent and how good they are at certain champions and whatnot, and what you want to leave on the table. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to give yourself, especially in a best of 5, as many like slight champion advantages as possible. And that's all up to you. Like if somebody is having problems in the pick ban phase, that's their own fault. And it's their own fault either due to picking just comfort picks or just not broadening their champion pool enough as it is. And like I said, this is something that VengeuR has improved upon a lot in the last year. He's somebody who's pretty much all the time now, he's giving himself a really good chance every single map in every single matchup. He's being very flexible with what he can play. Whereas he used to be a player that would pick more comfort picks, and now he's strategizing a lot more, and it's really good improvement to see in his game. So let's go ahead and get into Corrupted Keep. Hopefully I don't go ahead too far. Okay, so off of this spawn, there's a couple things that can happen. Either I take the nail gun and the armor, and then I go get the heavy and get shotgun. But right here, I wanted to go to this area and kind of figure out what he wants to do. Because players will either get the rocket and they'll head over to the bridge, or they'll get the rocket and they'll try to, because they can cut you off first. They can't get onto the mega before you, but they can get in position to try to spam some damage and get free damage as they then back off onto items since you've just taken it. And so I'm going to kind of posture for position and see what I can do and just kind of decide on based off what he does. If he goes towards LG, I'll just try to deal some damage, let him go take it, and I'll go take the heavy and then work my way in from there. If he decides to go get the heavy, I'll try to deal some damage and get an LG and not take too much getting out of the area. So see how I'm taking my time? Whereas if I kept jumping there at full speed, I would have taken like an 80 to 100 damage rocket moving quickly from Mega to LG. That's like, you know, if you just are just going at full speed and they're going at full speed and they don't like hit a wall, they'll be able to get there to hit you in time. So I've safely secured myself the Mega without taking any damage. So I have the timing on it, and now it's just about getting the rest of the guns and trying to keep track on when he's going to pick up heavy, since it's going to be delayed.
Kill is pretty safe. The execution on this map can be difficult if your opponent.
Yep. So now I'm getting the weapons. I'm trying to like use clues to figure out where he is. I'm holding the lower part of the map because right here I'm just trying to make a hard read. A lot of players recently have been changing their approach to this map, and instead of coming through high or through nail gun to try to get their way to LG, they're like rushing in through low, and they're hoping that you're trying to catch them out at rocket launcher or at nail gun or something. And by the time that you hear them, it's too late, and they've come through at full speed, and they're going to go through the portal, and they're going to get LG and get out. So that's what I was looking for here, is for him to try to do that. And that's why I'm positioned the way that I am. Since we're both even in stack, I'm trying to make a good like trap and bait type situation. But he's playing it very smart. He's playing tentative, just trying to figure out where I am, what's going on. So here I'm working my way to shotgun, and then I'm going to see if I can catch him on Mega or what's going to happen here. Because I'm so stacked, he's not going to be able to all in me and get a kill here unless I totally mess up. Because I'm going to have rockets and nades to spam at the choke, etc. if I need to back off and get away. So I'm just going to go back lower here and see what happens at Mega. Okay, so I don't anticipate him to be up at the top mid yet, and so I went up thinking he might be at LG or going back to lower, but we both are going to have a fight here. And as you see in this fight, even though he's dual wielding me, my stack comes into play to try to help mitigate it being too bad, and as well as nades are going to save me here. Because as I'm backing off, I can keep spamming them and covering the angles where LG will be most effective. And I know that this armor is coming up because based off the beginning, he ran from rocket to armor to above mega. So now I'm okay. And so here, he's likely going to anticipate me to go to mega. I honestly don't care whether he gets mega or heavy. It doesn't matter. Right here, that grenade has won me the opportunity to see if I can get a kill and then get control. And so he's just rushing his way over to heavy, trying to get there as fast as possible, and he's not covering his ass. And so it opens up the opportunity for me to get a free kill because I'm getting all this free damage right away. And so I'm leaving the LG up because I know that about 6 months ago, it was like halfway through stage 1, the spawns were changed to where the minimum time between respawning now once you're dead is no longer 3 seconds, it's 2 seconds. So I know that if I go to get that LG ammo, even though I need it, it will allow him to spawn at MG quicker and more safely to get the Mega. So I'm like, okay, well, it's better for me to leave that right now and maybe come back and get it. And it's more important for me to rush instantly over to the Mega, make sure to make sure that I get a guaranteed time on it, and B, to see if I can, find some follow-up damage and punish him for picking it up.
Rapha tracks him down, gets the frag, and gets the heavy.
So I get over there, I do a little bit of damage, not too much, and so now I'm just going to deny this armor. So right now I know that he has a good amount of health but no armor, because the light armor that we fought for when he was dual wielding is going to come up at 8. Then the heavy armor is after that, so I have the cycle. It's really important to as you're getting better at duel, everybody needs to learn how to just know the cycle of which items come up in sequential order, right? That's the first step. That's the first step that will help you in getting better at duel. The second one is once you've learned to cycle all the time, then you need to start timing the major items to the T all the time. Always be timing heavy and mega. Never have any doubt about when those two come up. And so you practice that and get better at that. And then as you get better at that and that becomes second nature to you, that's when you start to not only remember the order and the timing of the major items, you start timing the light armors as best as you can. In Quake Champions, it is actually more difficult to time the light armors than it was in Quake Live and Quake 3. Because in Quake Live and Quake 3, there was no armor cap. There was no default cap on picking up light armors. So if you were in full control and you had cycle of the map, you could just keep timing the whole time. And you knew when they're coming up all the time. You could take them and keep that going. But in this game, there comes points in the match where neither player wants to collect the light armor. It's like, as the player in control that, okay, the out of control player has worked their way to the default stack. It's not worth damaging myself to take the light armor because I need the extra health and armor for whatever the fight is. And they could be waiting around trying to listen out for me to damage myself, and then they could catch me off guard, and that could, mess things up. So at certain points in the game, you're going to lose track of the light armors, and that's okay. You just need to keep remembering that they're available or not, remembering the cycle, and then eventually you'll get the timing of them again as like the armor stacks become more equal again throughout the ebb and flow of control through the game. So I come back and collect that, and now my job is to try to go through center and to see if he's sticking around for the light armor or not, and maybe I catch him holding ground too aggressively. So I'm like trying to clear the likely areas that he's holding. I hit him with a shit ton of damage here. And so here I'm just trying to catch which escape he's going to use, and I'll likely try to all in. But I catch him too late to drop, so I'm seeing if he'll commit to this area again like he did before, and he is. I took a lot of damage, but that's okay. So right now, since the dilemma is here, I decide that even though I usually like to have more armor, I'm going to take the mega health and control LG at the moment because both lights are going to be up. This light is at 23, I think. So by the time I get the mega and get LG ammo, both light armors will be up. So that means that if I went to the heavy side, he's going to spawn at like machine gun or nail gun, and he's going to get armor, mega, and an LG anyway, and he's going to have dual wield, and he'll have an extra armor to position for. So it would give him a really good chance to equalize control and try to get back into the game. So right now I'm like, okay, well, if I can't gain control with the items at the moment and we're going to be equal on it, then let me just try to deny weaponry from him and see if he oversteps his bounds trying to get a rocket or trying to get an LG, and I can see if I can trap him. So I know that mega and heavy are likely around the same time. And so now I'm just trying to catch him out. But the thing is, I know that he's like waiting for a fight and to back off onto the armor, so I don't want to take anything that overexposes myself, because if I deal like 100 damage rocket, but I take like 100 plus damage right now, I have nothing to back onto, whereas he does. So the fight will almost be as if it never happened for him, whereas it'll be a negative EV value for me. Oh, excuse me for that. So I made him pop it, and right now The only reason that I kept encroaching there was because he was moving into a bad position, and I could deal more than that 100 damage. And if he tries to push me, he's pushing through a choke, and I have a shit ton of grenades left that I can hold the choke with shotgun grenades or rocket grenades, and it's going to punish him for trying to dual wield. So I know that he picks that up. I'm trying to listen out for where he is, where he's going.
Sorry to interrupt. Hail to the king, baby.
Oh, thanks for the resub. I'll get to it. I'll get to it later. So here, I do a good job of catching him on which exit he's going to take here as he went to the machine gun, and this should be a good fight for me. Now, what I fuck up with is I don't just drop instantly. If I just drop and I stall him, he can't escape. The way for him to escape is to really overexpose himself. I should be able to get the items. But here I'm trying to read him a little too well and trying to get a kill and then everything. Whereas I should just kind of let control happen. I do a lot of damage here, and I know he's so weak. I'm like, okay, right now I need to switch weapons because he might be backing out of LG range and he has a machine gun. So I switched to machine gun, which is the smart move to do. And I just don't hit it somehow. So I don't hit it. He hits like 4 or 5 bullets in a row. He gets the kill. And it sucks that I don't go up 3-0, but it's not the end of the world because what items are coming up at the same time? Mega and heavy. And as he's weak there grabbing the mega, it won't be to its maximum value of 175 health. So he gets that, I get the stack. So now I'm looking to push and to punish him again. Because I know that off the respawn, I am 125, like 200. I'm fucking ready to go. So if he steps in the wrong spot, even I have machine gun, grenades, and shotgun to fight. He has to respect my stack, and if he doesn't, he's gonna die. So now I'm pushing to fight because I have all of this armor. If he holds this ground, he's going to die, and then I'll have armor to back off onto. Is what he does. He deals a lot more damage than expected, but it's okay. I pick up the armor. I'm almost at the default armor stack. I grab the health, and I'm still doing all right. He wisely chooses to go for LG while I go for checking the armors. So like as I said, as players have been doing, they stream through lower to try to get it and to get out quickly. So I deal a lot of damage, but I don't remember if I managed to find him and kill him here. No, it looks like I don't. So I opt to go for all the armor again. So I'm like, okay, I didn't find him. I didn't pick the right door, etc. Door number 1, door number 2 to find him and kill him. So I'm going to try to maximize my control right now and get all the armor and then cut him off from the rest of it. So we're going to fight here. He deals a shit ton of damage. I'm trying to back off. This is just A. It's just amazing aim from him to get this kill. Because I thought even with my armor stack, etc., and him dual wielding, I should be able to like trade out well enough. But he hit literally 100% LG, and my aim kind of faltered in that fight, and that's what cost me. I would take the fight again, but this is just one of those. This is what VengeuR does, man. VengeuR lights you up. So he brings it back, but he's still weak, so I can fight for control. So I bring the kill back, get the armor, and now I'm trying to figure out where he's going. I hear him at Mega, so I'm like, okay, I can't contest that because it's too risky to go through the door and take a bad rocket, and then like I lose all of my stack, and then he gets Mega, and then maybe gets LG and chases me down before the heavy. So it's better to just trade the items again. Just, okay, give him Mega health, let me take the heavy, and we'll work from there. And I know he likely isn't going to have dual wield back again because we just fought over it, and he hasn't had enough time to go for all the vials. And here, there's just amazing prediction from him on like where I'm going to peek, what areas I'm going to hold to try to spam and like punish him as he takes that. And he played around that very, very well. And he managed to hit 2 really sick rockets, which give him the frag. And this is dangerous. Like, that's really dangerous for him to do. Now it's made him really weak again, and I'm going to take all of the armor on that side of the map. used dual wield, so now he doesn't have dual wield to defend this. So that's why I'm just rushing through. Like, I don't have to be scared here.
Whoop.
Yeah, this is the time that
So I'm securing position on the side of the map with the other armor. I'm taking all of that shit from him. And now I'm playing a little careful because I know like certain positions he likes to play and plays really heavily for rocket spam and trying to hold chokes. So I'm trying to find where he is and like bait him to move away and then try to close in with the kill. And just do it slowly. Like I don't have to. I still have the lead. Like I don't have to have the pressure to like do anything stupid to get a kill. So again, I've taken all the armor. We're gonna like fight for this shit again. I'm like holding out and trying to bait out the dual wield as long as I can. And even though I don't get the kill there, it's fine. I follow up with some good damage. Damage myself to take the armor again. And it's just one of those, like, eventually this shit is gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna get the kill. He doesn't have enough items. He's been taking some really risky fights to try to hold on to control. Instead of like giving it up for a cycle and then playing the slow game. And then we'll be on equal footing. He's like trying to keep up with the tempo rather than reading the fact that he really shouldn't be holding certain fights. So I know where he is. I'm trying to catch him out here. And then I picked that he's just going to take the predictable route and just go low, and I managed to get a clean kill. So now I'm going to collect this armor again. Then I'm going to go through banana, and I'm going to take the heavy, and then we're going to try to fight in the middle here. And he's doing a shit ton of damage, man. So now I'm just waiting on health. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't need to push anywhere. Need to just try to like damage him after this armor, and if I die, it's okay. We'll go back to being like 5-4, but I need to make sure that he's weak. So it's either play super safe and wait for the heavy, or all in and try to make him weak and then get control back. Amazing rocket. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. So now I'm like, okay, whatever. It's 5-4, and I'm going to get control. He'll be 100-100. But I'll have LG, rocket available right away, and I can already like cess him down. And he's doing a smart thing here, not collecting the light armor. Because he's 75-100, it would only be worth 25 when it could be worth 50. And with the BJ passive, if he takes some damage, he should be able to heal up a little bit anyway, making it even more valuable. So he's doing the right thing right now to try to get the score to be tied and to get enough control to get a kill. He's trying to look for me and deal some damage and then fall back onto the item. Really good damage from him. And now he's looking really pretty for the next set of items. And so even though I got the mega last time, I know the heavy time because I knew he had to move towards one or the other after the frag. So I know when shit's coming up. So I'm just playing off of sound, like pick one. Pick one and I'll go for the other. And so he goes to the heavy. I go to the mega. I collect LG. And so now I hear him pop dual wield, so now I'm like just covering myself and installing him. Where did the sound go? Okay, well, the sound's out for whatever reason. Maybe that was on the live stream as well. Yeah, here, so I've just been looking to, let's go back up. So here, I'm just trying to make it out. I take a lot of damage, but that nade makes me think that I can turn this shit around. Because if he goes to the jump pad, he's going to be predictable coming up, and I can get more damage off than he does. And that there's a health bubble there, so I go to take the armor. I'm looking for his escape, see if I can deal extra damage. I went to potentially like catch him sticking around, being scared to, scared to leave. He ends up dealing a lot of machine gun damage here, and I'm probably going to die. Yeah, okay, I die. But the successful thing about dying there is he's not going to be too healthy. He can't get both heavy and mega. And that's what, as Keel, the entire game, I need to avoid. I need to avoid BJ becoming this 175 dual wielding bully who can then like kill me, force me to respawn somewhere bad, make me weak, and or kill me again and again. So as long as I'm contesting for control and making sure that he can't get both, things will be okay in the long run. It's playing the percentages over the long run of the course of the game. Okay, so he grabs heavy, I grab mega. And here I'm just trying to do battle. Kind of really have no choice here but to take this little fight. I know that the other armor comes up first. He decided to back off to this side for some reason. So now that gives me the chance to get a rocket, get center position on the map before the next majors. See how I'm not like over pressing like his rockets? I'm not just like super predictably moving in. Like I'm trying to like think about how he's thinking I'm going to move into the room and trying to buy space to potentially get the kill and not take like a rocket to the face. So I almost kill him, but it's okay. I take the light armor. I know that I can't really fight for heavy, so I'm just trying to like gain the timing on it. I deal some nice splash so that he's not super, super healthy now. And he'll collect it, and I'll have about a rough guesstimate of when it is, between like 7 and 9. So I know the timing on Mega. This is going to be the next item to play for. I'm a bit more stacked than he is. And for some reason, he's thinking that he can push this area, even though I have grenades, and he pays the price. And a good weapon to dual wield against Keel is Super Shotgun, but he doesn't have it in this fight. Like if you're going to go up close against him, you don't really want to use dual wield rockets like you do against others because he takes reduced splash, and then there's the chance that you're splashing yourself as well. So he's taking less damage from the rockets, and you're hurting yourself. And just the more that closer that you move in, you might take like splash damage from a grenade combo. So he tries to push back in here, and I hit him with the 150. Direct rocket to direct nade combo. And so that's horrible for him because it would be just one thing if he went for the kill there and he died and still had dual wield, but he used his ability and got no value out of it. So he dies, he gets nuked. So now even though, I'm not the healthiest, I have guns, and I know that he can't dual wield with machine gun or starting shotgun off the start. So that's why I looked for him first. Couldn't find him. He chose the right area to leave immediately off the spawn. So I was like, fine, let me go back and get the armor. Then I'll rush back into here again. And I'll take this armor again. And now I'm going for the full armor cycle again and see if he's going to hold firm over there with like super shotgun and see if I can get the kill because I pretty much know the timing of it. So I start moving in. And he accepts defeat, so that's fine. I just deal a little damage to like make sure that he has no armor afterwards. And so now we're gonna fight here. And I just fucking missed 2 point blank grenades. Let's watch this again. So I go into this fight. I have every reason to do it. We're fighting. Everything's looking good. And then I run out of LG ammo. And what I should have done is when I got to about 10 to 20 ammo and I'm moving up the steps, my mistake was not switching to shotgun. I have to switch to shotgun or machine gun, not rockets in this situation since we're both weak. I don't want to hurt myself and kill myself. I should have switched weapons here, and that probably would have led to me getting the kill and then further, my lead and control. But since I mess up with that and run out of ammo, and I don't hit the point blank grenades, he gets the frag here. And it's one of those where I should be continuing the lead now rather than it being a stalemate again and just trying to get the lead. So I'm looking to punish him. I do, and the only reason I'm sticking this out, and I know there's like no sound right now, but he is making the scream that he's below 25 health. So I know that even though I could take a lot of damage from dual wield, it's more likely that I'm going to finish him off before he does enough to make me pay. And that'll make it so that, again, he's dead, he doesn't have ability, and I can get control again. So I finish it off with, machine gun first and switching to shotgun to like just peek and deal damage instead of overexposing myself. I know that this gives me time to get the light, get LG, and then what I need to do from here, since I'm not afraid of him rushing in with dual wield shotgun, is I need to get position to figure out, okay, is he going to play for heavy or is he going to come in for mega and LG and try to like just trade damage and take the opposite right now? Because I can't get both. So I cover lower, get the mega, and I'm like, all right, now it's time to go to rocket, start securing position. And he's like very boldly moving towards the center of the map to fight with starting machine gun when he should know I have heavy machine gun. It was actually a very big risk that he took to try to trade some damage there. But I guess he's feeling the pressure since he hasn't been able to, any kill that he's gotten, he hasn't been able to get full control. So he's trying to like play a little cheekier now to maybe catch me off guard and see if he can change the tide of the game. So now I'm just trying to zone him and like hold distance, but somehow he just like, he dealt a shit ton of damage again, like moving in. So he comes through here. I don't really hit any spam. He starts moving in with shotgun, and he dealt like what, like 60 damage from like from mid range from just one shot. And so he's going to continue to move in. I just have to try to deal as much damage as I can here and hope that the next shot from this range doesn't deal over 75. Well, it deals 80 and it kills me. So I did what I could there. He got really lucky with the shotgun damage from the range that he was shooting. It's not that it was a bad weapon choice from him. Just he literally got the absolute maximum value from the spread that he could in back-to-back shots. So now he's much healthier than he should be. This should be a situation where he's like at the most 100 health, 50 armor if he gets the kill. But being 100 is like really, really fortunate there. So he's got guns again. He's tied the game. He's going to play for heavy, which is the smart thing, so that he can get the armor stack, and I won't have the armor stack. And now I'm just trying to work my way out of LG. I guess incorrectly on where he's going to be, but during the fight, for some reason, I don't... See how I messed up with the weapon selection earlier at LG? This is a big mistake from him. So he moves in. He moves in, which is what he should be doing, is taking center control to figure out where I am. He starts catching me here before... Like, he just moved into the room so fast on my screen. Like, I thought he might even be, like, coming from over here. He's just there, and he's fighting me. So he's dealing a shit ton of damage. I'm trying to fight back a little bit as, like, you know, deal some damage, and if I take too much, I've got health and shit to fall back on. I just don't want to let him get a bunch of damage for free, and then he chases me down and kills me. And then here, he has 106 LG ammo. Like, he should just keep that gun out and just hold the distance, like, near the archway behind him, so that he could keep dealing damage, but he decides to switch to rockets, which gives me a chance to like push and dodge them and just keep shooting the shit out of him. So I damage him by a shit ton, and then I switch to machine gun, and I'm at a range where it's difficult to hit rockets. I'm dodging and weaving as he shoots them, so for some reason he panic switched to rockets in a really bad situation to use the RL, where he had other guns which he could have been much more effective with. And it gave me a clean kill, which really shouldn't have happened at this point in the game. So now I go this way because I know the armor's coming up. And then, okay, so he's rushing me here off the spawn. He must think I'm weaker than I am. But I held that position because I knew when I died in the fight before that he collected the light armor right after. So that's what I'm fighting for there, is the light armor and then figure out what's going on and take mega or heavy. So now I was like looking to maybe cut him off in the middle. He decides to go for the light, so I'm positioning for the heavy. And I'm just looking to, A, cut off the easiest entrance for him to deal effective damage. And if he pushes too far, I'll kill him. If not, he'll just back off to mega anywhere. So I make sure that I get LG ammo since I'm low on it. I'm going to collect this, and then I need to go cut off the center of the map. Okay, so I hear him leave, so that lets me know, okay, he left this way. And he panicked. He didn't want to get caught at LG, so that means mega is like 14. And I catch him coming back to LG. He thought I'd left the area to go to like rocket or something. So I catch him with a big rocket. Now I'm just looking to maybe get the kill on, and I just take the win here. I'm like, oh, he popped dual wield. Fine, you're popping dual wield at a situation where I'm not even going to pressure you, and you're going to get absolutely no value out of it. So I'm just going to back off. I'm going to get rockets, and I'm going to get ready for the next rotation. So I'm cutting him off again. I'm restocking on LG. And I'm just kind of accepting that, okay, he's probably going to get mega, but it's fine. I just need to keep super stacked and start playing for zones where, like, if he pushes me, he's going to pay the ultimate price. So here, just trying to figure out, there's a few options. He's probably gone low, and he's going to loop back to nail. He's going to watch it come through the portal, or he's going to loop back to rocket. So I'm holding this position to either see him at one of the two or hear him pick up rocket, and then I rotate and then make it difficult for him to push me. He starts pushing in the middle. I start taking this fight because I know I'm super stacked and I have a health bubble to fight with, which makes my armor more effective. And I just cover the easiest angle for him to pursue. And as soon as I hit that, I'm like, boom. I step back into the room, try to finish the kill, and that should lock the game up right there. And so since I moved to go get the LG ammo to defend myself for the next 30 seconds, I figured, okay, he might spawn at Rocket since I'm on the other half of the Mega Health. So that's why I didn't just rush towards the armor, because if he rushed from Rocket there, it could make a really messy fight, and then I give up a kill and give him a chance to get in the game. So that's why I took my time. I'm trying to listen to where he's going and just go the opposite way and just defend myself. Okay, so here I just cut off the center of the map, and I just, at that point, the reason why I decided to fight this is because as I'm moving through here, that rocket kind of like stumbled me. And so I know if as soon as I see him here, if I start trying to continue to run backwards and don't focus on shooting, it's going to make me very easy to hit, and he will likely get the kill. So I just need to focus on damage and trying to kill him. I do. And so I'm like, okay, now I just need to try to get heavy. I should be able to hold out with three frags. Even if he kills me, it should be fine. Just make sure he doesn't get the heavy while he does it. Then here I deny the Mega so that even if he gets the kill, he's not going to be healthy to force a spawn, and the game should be over. Like, the big mistake from him was that fight near the Mega where he just switched to Rocket when he didn't need to. He just needed to keep out Lightning Gun. If he kept out LG, everything would have been A-okay for him. I wouldn't have been able to follow up with more damage with Lightning Gun, bobbing and weaving through his rockets, and then switching to Machine Gun at the perfect range where he thinks that he's out of LG range, but I already anticipated the pushback from the LG to do that, and then I'm just dodging his rockets again, because, again, I'm at the range where it's difficult to hit from. And that got me the win from there. Like, there were a few fights, like, earlier on in the game that I probably should have won, but that's the biggest turning point of the game right there that cost him. Any reason I didn't drop from rockets to get the Tribolt health? Because, so when I was up 3 there, I knew that he might rush off the spawn. And like I said, the biggest thing at that point when you're up 3 with that much time left is you can't let him get the kill since you're so weak and get the heavy. So it was one of those where, like, if he kills me, it's fine, but he can't be super stacked trying to force respawns. So that's why it was very important for me to just grab the one bubble that I could, grab the heavy, and if he wasn't able to rush me off the spawn, great, then I collect the health and I just try to survive. There it was just better to guarantee that if my life is traded, that he gets the least value out of the items on the map. And again, like, then once I respawned at Machine Gun, I was like, okay, I can't let him try to get me stuck in here and take the Mega. So since he didn't get the heavy and I dealt a little damage, I was like, okay, I have a 2 frag buffer with 10 some seconds left. Let me take the Mega, force him to fight within Machine Gun range the whole time. And so even if he gets the kill, he can't kill me off the spawn. I'm going to be way too stacked as Keel. He's not going to have enough health and armor to do it. Doesn't matter if I win by 1 frag or 3 frags at this point, as long as I win. And it guarantees that he won't be able to do it at the end. So why do I think he switched to Rocket? Possibly panic, but he's just so comfortable with using rockets, like I said, on that map, that I think it's like a comfort thing for him. So yeah, I think it was just a panic switch, an unfortunate one. Like, we all fuck up with weapon switches every now and then. Like I said, at the LG fight not too long before that, I should have switched to shotgun when my LG ammo was getting a little low. In that situation, that's one of those where no, you hold firm with the gun that you have, and you don't switch, etc. So, okay, let's get this paused right before Molten Falls. Okay, let's skip through here. And then I need a quick little break. I just need to get some water, help keep my throat hydrated through all this talking, etc. So I'll just need like 3 minutes, and then I'll be back. Sound is back, yay!
Dan, number 2 for VengeuR and Rapha. VengeuR looking to tie it up.
All right. I'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. 1 second. All right. If you guys, we got people mowing the lawn outside, so I'm sorry. The mic should have enough noise like gate and cancellation, etc., that you shouldn't hear it. But if you hear lawnmower going, I can't really help that right now. So shit's gotta be done, you know. Damn it! I spent all that time and I come back and now I get an eyelash in my eye instead of it being before, so that I can just take care of it. Now I have to awkwardly waste more time. Oh man. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So let's bring back capture. Okay, so in this matchup, what you're looking to do as Scale Bearer is get the death cycle going, because as good as Ranger's mobility is with rocket jumping around and the orb, like Scale Bearer's stomping around ability, just plus forwarding around the map, is pretty damn good. And how quickly you can end up moving around the map if you take the right fights and you can just literally cycle everything on the map, you just become this unkillable tank. Because even though Ranger, you know, has the orb and can deal with your charge, he has to deal so much damage to even attempt to deal with you, and most of the time then you use your charge to just secure the items anyway, and so then you get even beefier, and it's like, holy shit, he's like hitting me so hard, and he's reducing damage, and he's taking everything. So you just want to be this, you know how everybody described Cooler as Pac-Man? You want to play Scale Bearer as Pac-Man. That's really what you want to do. You want to run around, and then you want to pretend he's a flashing blue and white ghost. You just want to fucking stomp on him. You just want to crush him over and over again. That's what you want to do. That's your game plan as Scale Bearer. As Ranger, you want to keep your distance. You want to rail the shit out of him. Rail, heavy machine gun cess first. Take good positioning. A good fight for Ranger in this matchup is to hold nail gun while Scale is down on the heavy, because then Scale can't use his charge to potentially deal damage to you or force your orb out for escape. So you want to hold that high ground against him. Same with being above the Mega. So you want to hold high ground as Ranger as often as possible. Unfortunately, so you know how some people sometimes they'll like hold position at the portal defensively. They'll wait for somebody to go through, then they'll rocket them, and then they'll go through the portal to try to go to Railgun. That's very, very dangerous in this matchup as Ranger, because Scale can so easily enter the portal, turn right around and go through, and there's such a great chance to get telefragged as Ranger that you don't want to hold there. And then even if that happens and then you both go through the portal down here, he'll still have charge to chase after you, whether you go towards the jump pad or you go towards the health, or you're trying to go through the portal again. It's just a really shitty fight that normally works out for Ranger against almost everybody else, but Scale, you don't want to do that. And that'll come into play later in the game, and I'll explain why later. But let's go ahead and get started. Why did it... Don't get off full screen. What are you doing? Just play. Thank you. All right, so I take the rocket, I go over and cut off the railgun because he's likely spawned on the shotgun, so he's going to do one of two things. He's excuse me, he's going to rush towards the rail with just shotgun and orb, and I'm going to be 125, 100 with charge and rockets in a close range fight compared to 125 and 50. So if he does that, I'll likely be able to steal everything and either charge kill him or charge past him and then take the heavy from him. And then guess what? Then I would cut him off at the Mega because I'd go get LG, and then either we all in fight at the armor and I'm likely going to win, or he just leaves and I just deny it to him anyway. So he does the smart thing in this champion matchup to not come to the rail first. He decides to just take the heavy. So it's very good from him. So I realized that. I move back and I'm like, all right, let me just take Mega. And I don't go up the pad because I know that he's likely gone to LG and that side. So as I've gone through or about to go through the portal, I hear his footsteps up here, so I instantly get ready to try to trade damage with him. And so right now, I think the best thing to do is just heavy machine gun him, since I outstack him by so much. And I catch him, you know, not expecting me ready to fight, and I deal a lot, and I'm gaining position. I catch him on the double back right here, and I'm looking to kill him. I don't have LG, but man, how the fuck did he deal that much damage? Like, let me watch that again. So I'm 160, 115. And in the blink of an eye, I'm 112, 23. Like, what is that shit? Like, this happens for me, like, from my point of view, and it happens against me sometimes. There's every now and then, and I don't know why it happens, but when you're playing against high ping, so like right now, this is on the NA server, whereas the previous one was on the EU. Sometimes the player with high ping, LG, feels like it counts faster than usual. And so you get situations where it's literally hitting faster than it should, and you just get melted. It's like no matter where you were, what you were dodging, you just get destroyed by it. And it's like I've experienced like playing and having that, and you just feel unstoppable with LG. And then there's other games where it's like, okay, well, no matter what I do, I can't dodge. And then there's times where it doesn't do that, and it feels, you know, pretty normal. Like you may take a few ticks behind corners every now and then, but it feels like normal damage output. So he deals a shit ton of damage here. And right now, I shouldn't have even tried to rail him. I should have just like charged through the portal on my way to heavy and like escaped because he doesn't have rail yet. But I decided to try to rail and deal damage. And at this point, like I've taken all this damage, like just don't even charge. Shane, please, if I go back in time, don't charge. Listen to me. I somehow miss the rail again. I miss another rail, and I decide to charge like an idiot. So the beginning of pain starts. So I know he hasn't used orb yet, which is why I don't rush onto the heavy. If he hadn't used orb, I would have just went to the heavy right away. But I know I have to respect it. And so I just go up, take LG. I look to take a fight here, maybe knock him off with the push, which that forces the orb, so that's fine. He goes over, takes the mega, so I just need to play a little slow here. Take safer routes, in which I do, and I'm trying to catch him at the armor. And I deal a lot of damage. And so here I was just looking to trade my life because I know the armor over here at rail should be coming up. Because what happened is I dealt the damage at heavy, but I didn't deal enough that he should be able to collect it. So if I win the fight, we're going to be tied. If I lose, I should get control. So now I spawn over by rail. I'm looking to get guns before the heavy. I'm railable, but I should be able to make it over. And I take too long to get there. And so now he gets full control off of hitting 2 rails, even though one should have just crippled him. And I didn't hit enough damage. And here, this was me misanticipating his position. I thought that based off of where he was when I was over there and where I heard him, that he would probably be here by the time that I get to Mega. And so that's why this kill is so clean and so disastrous for me. Whereas if we take a fight here and it's messy, it's going to end up creating the scenario where even though he's getting some kills, it's going to create that death cycle that I can just keep running. But the misjudgment from me here on trying to get this back cost me so much. He didn't have to use orb. He barely took any damage, and he's going to be so stacked here, and there's so much time before the heavy. So he collects that, he collects the light, and he's doing what he should. He's trying to fight over here by the rail. And then, unfortunately, on my screen, I ran right into him. And sometimes, like, with the weird ping matchups with Scalebearer, charge gets kind of buggy. So even though on my screen I ran into him, you could see from the spectator point of view, we weren't together. He dodged it. So that leads me to dealing no damage to him. So instead of that being another situation where he should take a lot of damage from Nail and the charge, because if he takes the charge there, he gets like popped up in the corner and I can deal more damage. He gets another clean kill. Now we both don't have our ability. And so here he knows as soon as he sees the LG gun that I went underneath. I'm trying to fight him head up here at the armor again since I got a favorable spawn.
3 seconds. VengeuR's just gonna have to be forced just to do some damage down here.
Good damage from him. I'm just trying to get away to maybe take the Mega here, because I can't let him get it for free again. We fight here. I at least deal enough damage that he's not going to be 100-100. Now, in this game, with how it's going disastrously wrong for me, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is really rough. I haven't been dealing a lot of damage in these fights. He's got a couple clean kills, but I have 8 minutes. As long as I don't let the game get to like the point where he has like an 8 frag lead in this matchup, I have enough mobility with Scalebearer that if I get the right circumstances, I can come back into this game. So right now I'm like, okay, I did make him really weak as he grabbed the Mega. I just need to keep sticking to my guns. I need to keep fighting for the next item cycle. I'm going to have charge back because I'm going to get this shit, like the vials over here, and I should be able to contest for control now. I catch him here. I missed the charge again, even though I guess on my screen I went right into him, but it like put me through him. And so then I die for free. So now it's 6. It's getting closer to that 8 number. And he takes this. But I take position to deny him easy access to the heavy. And the good thing about this kill is I force him to orb. So now I'm at a decent stack. I have good guns. I'm running over towards the Mega. He runs over to contest this, and I know I might die, but I need to deal max. Again, I can't let him get it for free. I have to deal max damage and end up getting the full cycle, especially since I'm so far behind. So he kills me. He's pretty weak again. But I know I have a lot of time before the next heavy to go on. So I go to get Rocket. And I only hit 1 rail in another predictable fight, so we're getting closer to 8. It's 7 now. Honestly, if he gets another kill, the game should probably be over, as long as he plays it correctly with how hard he's been hitting. So I get another good spawn, and I can rush it down. I get the kill, and I'm going to be pretty stacked here. So now this time, I know I'm not going to be able to beat him to the Mega. So now's the point where I can deny the armor that's after and maybe punish him exiting the Mega health. So that's my job right here. Get more LG ammo, move into position. Okay, so I see him there. And I just miss a fucking easy shot again. I'm just like, man. But after this situation right here, I just took a deep breath and I was like, okay. I was like, now I have to slow down just a little bit. I'm like, man, just collect yourself and just take a split second longer with your shots because you have to be dealing all the damage you can. You've been missing so many key, like easy shots so far, and that's why you're in the situation that you're in right now. And in my head, I'm like, I can still do this. I can still contest for all of this. I can still try to get control back. It's still a possibility in this game if the right circumstances happen. So I'm not even in a situation where I'm tilting and trying to give up. It's just that rail would have actually done a lot right there. So here, I'm leaving the armor up because if this situation goes badly, like I said, I don't want the score to get to like being down 8 with half the game left. So as long as I keep it within this range up until the 5-minute mark, things should be okay. So I need to kind of play a little tentatively now for this heavy. So I do. I secure a shotgun first, get this, and now I need to try to look to damage the Mega. He's over here, so I know, okay, now I could go get this. And there I was so scared I was going to just get fucking knocked out of the map. I take so much damage here. The RJ's up top. I'm checking to see if he doubled back. And here I can play to try to steal the armor because I have charge. So he makes a mistake here in going up the jump pad when he did. I deal good damage, and now I'm like, okay, there's such a long time between heavy and Mega. This is the chance that I need. I need to make this shit work and keep this control for the rest of the game. I'm looking to kill him because I have so much time between Mega that it's like I have to start lowering the lead now. It's going to be a bit of a gamble to go up this jump pad, but I have the charge. I need to go for this. So I take a lot of damage, but I secure the kill. And I'm like, it's going to be okay because I'm going to collect the 2 health bubbles here and then the Mega, which will make it so I'm at 175 health. So it'll make me pretty beefy still, and he might overcommit for something. The health is still gone from the previous engagement, so I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work out as well as I planned. So I just have to take this and make do. Here, I have to fight all in at this point and take this from him. And it's actually worse that I killed him here. I've done so much of this shit in the game where I've died, but there, in all reality, I should have just let him kill me again, because then I'm going to spawn over at rail with a stack, and even though it would have been a 5-point game, I would have been able to contest for full control, whereas now I have to hope for a miracle. Like, I have like almost no health, I have to try to deal a bunch of damage and die while he collects the item. So getting the frag there isn't as big as like getting the control to potentially get multiple frags back. So here, he's trying to just kill me with machine gun, and he takes a shit ton of damage. So that's good. That's good for me. I did my job before the heavy to make sure that he's not super stacked. I try to catch him out here at the railgun. I'm doing good damage, but he just, again, crazy rockets to rail combo. Doesn't take as much LG as I anticipated, and he gets another kill. Thankfully, I get the mega, and I get it after I'm railed, which is really important because now my health is still, I'm very healthy still. So here I just use the charge to like force shit out, secure the frag, and get the heavy again. And now I'm down 5. So now I know that I'm likely not going to be able to secure mega, so I have to damage it. So I get the charge, clearing areas, looking to see if he's still up here. If he's not, I'm moving up here, listening for him. Okay, he makes it underneath me to the rail. So now I need to make it over to the heavy, try to secure the next heavy if I can. And thankfully I cut him off, because I know that with his stack, he's probably going to try to contest and get control and end the game again, like get enough of a lead where he can end it. And thankfully I was in his head enough to know that he's going to not take the predictable route and make it a 50-50 fight at the portal behind me or like underneath at rail and take a bunch of bad damage. He's going to circle around. So I catch him with a rail, and that makes him, since he doesn't have an orb, second guess himself, and he's going to leave. So now I pick up the heavy, and my job is to rush over to the mega health. I know I have charge. Even if he has orb, it's okay. I hear him moving, and so now I know that he's not really that healthy to try to kill me, so I need to try to deal damage here and trade before I pick up the mega, because he can't get past me. I fuck up my movement, so I have to just accept the second best thing. I'm like, okay, I'll back off on the mega again. I'll get super stacked. Clearing this area, trying to clear rail now. And I know that this armor is going to be up. I knew that he collected the other one. I need to just try to take advantage of the damage reduction from charge here. I need to have a good fight. I need to make this work for me because it's about to be a 5-frag lead. It's still a 5-frag lead with him with about 4 minutes left. I have to make this work to get the armor and then get the heavy and then keep this rolling. So this is the fight that we're going to take. And here, I'm finally, it's taken 5 minutes, but I'm finally hitting like normal. I'm starting to get my aim back as the course of this game goes on. So here, I bully him out of the way. He decided to save orb to be defensive with the lead, which is, it's not a bad decision. It's fine. So now I keep shooting LG to cover my angle, and this is a big mistake here. He thought that even after all that damage that he dealt, that I would keep pushing, and he wastes his orb. That's really bad there. He needed to hold on to that. Regardless of whether he died, he needed it off the respawn, etc., or for the next fight. Okay, so I hear him pick up that armor, but I'm really concerned about securing this mega. I have to get this going. Okay, so now I'm RJing to be unpredictable to try to rush through this zone because this is a very defendable spot for Ranger because it's a rocket area. Ranger really likes to fight with rockets, etc. So I'm trying to come in here with speed to catch him off guard. Catch him with LG again, and now here I charge, and I know even if I don't hit him, I have to curve myself. I'm going to curve myself at the best possible second. On my screen, it doesn't show this here in the spectator point of view, but on my screen I hit him, the charge stopped, and then the charge started again. So I was having a lot of crazy packet loss bullshit in this game, and so that's why like I awkwardly like run back in here because as soon as I hit him, I thought it was over, but then it kept circling, like it like redid it. So he blows himself up after the damage, and now I know I can get this, and I go back over to the heavy. And thankfully that rocket right there, if I don't hit that rocket, he's gonna orb and all in. He'll orb onto the heavy. It could become messy. I might not get it. I might die. But that rocket right there opens the door again for the full control and the comeback. So now in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he might be panicking. He might, because he knows that the cycle is going to be really hard for him to get anything for the rest of the game, that I might be able to run the table with the map. You know, the whole Pac-Man scenario where I'm collecting everything. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's either going to be sitting above the mega here, he's going to hide somewhere, or he's going to hide right below the mega. So as I go to the mega, I'm going to clear it. I'm going to anticipate that he's already trying to do this shit. I catch him, he orbs, and he messes up. He's literally going for like, he's going for like some all-in shotgun orb shotgun play. And since I moved in fast enough and cleared the area properly and was anticipating it, it allowed me to get the kill there. All right, well, everybody take a sip while we wait of whatever you got. Flat. Thank you, Jeff Goldblum. All right, now. So I get the kill, and I know I need to rush over to... I need to rush over to this side of the map to try to force him to not spawn on rail. I need to do my best to do that right now. It's a 50-50 toss-up. And so I'm clearing other areas to like listen for him right now. And I think I heard the rail pickup, so I was like, okay, I just have to give that up now, and I have to go back for this armor. Check it out. I come back to this area, and I'm like, okay, well, time is dwindling, and I really need to make something happen here. I'll get charge back, see what I can do. How the fuck does that hit? How does that hit? Let's watch it again. So I go in, securing charge, hit a rail. How the fuck does that hit? How do I not have enough time there to literally micro peek at the corner hit and be safe here? What was ScaleBear doing to fucking stanky leg and sticking his leg out there like, I bet you can't hit my big toe. Bet you can't hit it. Ugh! And now I'm dead. ScaleBear out here being a cocky little shit. So I die. So based off where he is, I'll likely spawn at LG or Rocket. Yep, him moving onto the armor allowed me to spawn right here. So now I know it's too dangerous at the moment because of his weaponry to spawn, to like go up the jump pad at LG. There's like a small percentage chance that he rails me at the right time and it knocks me back down the pad, so then I have to go up again. So here I'm just like, okay, I need to try to secure this shit from him since I know he doesn't have orb, and then I need to leave with charge. I still have enough time to bring this shit back.
Fantastic rail, something he needs.
He hits 2 rails. I know the timing. I charge out with it. So I go to get Rocket, trying to clear this area. And here I'm having to start take little like extra risks. I'm having to fight for this. And I look at it like, okay, if I get the kill here, I'm down 3 and I have a chance to get control back. If I die, yes, I'll be down 5, but he'll be super weak after this. I just need to start making things happen. So I hit a great rocket to rail to end that. He hits a clutch rail. And now he just needs to just avoid me. Is what he should be doing. Should be at really unpredictable areas and just avoid me. But off the spawn, I'm thinking, okay, where is he likely going to go? I think he's going to try to, he's going to try to listen out onto he's not going to go to the center of the map to get the health because that's the first place I'll check from Railgun. So he doesn't want to get railed there and die since he's railable. I think he's going to try to listen for the armor. So I was like, the first thing I'm going to do before getting this heavy is clear the LG because he's going to try to hear the pickup from there and going to try to run the other way. So I start clearing and boom. I just already, as I'm just looking at the one spot he can be, like he's just going to be waiting there to run and I just need to shoot. And I got lucky that he's holding that position and I get a free kill back. I don't take any damage and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is it. Let's do this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get this armor because he's not going to spawn close. I'm going to take everything. And this is the time to do it. So now I have to all in for this mega. So I fake going the other way with sound. I drop down to pick it up. And this is what I wanted all game long. I wanted this stack, this rotation, so that he can't do shit. So I'm just trying to find him, trying my best to deal damage when I can. I take all of the armor again. I have 2 minutes to make 4 frags back. And so I fake going that way and I just have to try to mix things up and catch him out on like where he's going to try to escape. And I managed to catch him here at this archway. Shotgun, charge shotgun, and I get a really clean kill so I can keep this going. So now I'm going to go RJ up here to try to fight A, to try to get the vials again, and to catch him if he spawns at rail, because he might have spawned A on the rail or above the portal. So he's either going to drop for it again and try to fight for it, or he's going to run to LG, and I'm just going to keep chasing him and running through the map. So here I need to make this fight work. And so during the fight, I'm like, okay, I think he's going to orb towards the doorway. So even though I could take big damage, I have to make this work for me, and I'm going to try to keep moving to the right, because he's going to give himself an escape option. He's going to try to maximize the orb. So now I know that he might have spawned at LG, because I wasn't able to move towards the portal fast enough. So here I know, okay, the armor comes first, and I need to slowly play this. I have some good spam, and I deal really good exit damage. And so now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's going to either rush the mega and try to fight for control back because he doesn't want to give me the full cycle with 1 minute left and 2 frags. Because if I get another clean kill, I'm like almost guaranteed to bring it back. I was like, or he's going to play tentative and really try to play the rail game from here on out. But the option that I'm going to cover first is I'm going to race my ass to the mega. Make sure that he doesn't cut me off this time like earlier in the game. So I catch him. He doesn't have orb to get on it. And here, during that fight, I just got the armor in the mega. So as soon as we have this fight here, and I have charge, I know that I really need charge to come back in the rest of the game. But here it's so important to keep my stack, because it's going to be a little while before this light armor comes up at rail. So as we take this fight and he's deciding to back off, I animation cancel by firing a rocket and charging at the same time. Even though I don't end up needing the charge to get the kill, it's the right play to make, because what if I missed the rocket? I'm trying to give myself multiple options at success here. But it ends up hitting, so I start charging this way because guess what? I know this armor is before the heavy. So I try to force him away from rail. I'm holding this position to make sure that he's not like secretly trying to move in from LG, and I'm listening to see if he's going to come behind me to fight for rail. I don't hear anything. I go and collect this just to be safe. And I know that this is at my back. So I'm like, okay, I'll collect the mega. I know the armors are up, so I'll have to try to catch him at one of them. I hear him pick this up, and at this point it's very pivotal that I don't chase him here, because he's likely to deal a bunch of damage. This armor is gone, and I'm like, you know what? There are 30 seconds left, and I only need 1. If I needed 2 frags, I would go for this, because I'm running out of time. I would have to hope that I pull off a miracle here. But I said to myself, okay, there is a big enough gap between heavy and mega. I know that the other armor is up on the opposite side since he went for this one. He can't collect both since he spawns with 50 armor. I'm just going to go for that. I'm going to go for that, and then I'm going to go for heavy, and then I'll have charge. I'll be super stacked, and I'll see what I can do. And if I could push this into overtime, or like kill him right before, then Mega is spawning right then. So I should be able to have control going, and it's the best percentage opportunity for me to try to win the game. So I back off, try to preserve my stack as much as possible, and start working my way towards heavy. And so I come out with rail here at full speed to like clear right and left, shoot him if he shows up. I try to clear if he's hiding down below, and now I'm just buying myself time. I'm like, okay, if he shows up and peeks, he might miss me because I'm dodging around. But my whole plan here is that I'm gonna RJ up because he's likely at the spot where he actually is right now, or he's worked his way down below. But if I take the pad, it's going to take too much time. I have to rocket jump and give myself momentum with the scale bearer plus forward speed to try to clear him out in 15 seconds.
Probably just go straight up the jump.
Now, at the beginning, I told you, most players would play by the portal right now because then it would give them the option to go through and to leave. Playing against scale bearer like that is really difficult because if he gets to you, like let's say he was playing at Tribolt and I just am full speed ahead chasing him, I have so much mobility coming out of the portal that it's so hard to defend. And so that's why he's playing up close. And here he's thinking in his mind that I'm probably going to save my stack since he dealt a direct rocket earlier instead of rocket jumping up. Rocket jumping up and him holding his current position is what catches him off guard. So by the time that I'm up here and I'm going to carry my speed and momentum towards the archway to catch him, it's too late. He's reacted too slowly. If I went up the jump pad, this would be fine. But because I rocket jumped up, he's too far forward and he's almost sealed his own fate. So he's already trying to fight, which I know I'm going to be able to peek the corner and start fighting him. And the best thing to do right now is to not rail, it's to LG. Because if you knock him off this high ground here, you could potentially get a lot of push. And so it'll force him to A. If he doesn't get the orb off, he'll potentially get knocked off the map. If he does orb, he's going to have to panic orb. And he's not going to be able to use it for a great escape. And I can chase him down with charge and get in range and try to tie the game. And fortunately for me here, because of the RJ up and he was a little too far forward thinking I would be up, like go up the jump pad, it allows me to just literally hit everything and it puts so much knockback to him, he just flies off the top. And so since he's like getting added units per second as he's falling as well, it just pushes him so much, and by the time he realizes he's going to fall off the map because he's trying to maximize the orb, it's too late. And so he uses the orb and can't activate it in time, and then he dies. So now that's worked out even better than it should. Like I should be really weak, and the game should be tied right now from everything that happened. Now I'm like, okay, now I know, I'm still remember the timing and the cycle. So it's like, it's Mega first, then the armor at rail. So I'm going to get the Mega. I know this is coming up. I'm like, okay, he's going to be 100, like just a little bit above. But I'm going to be super stacked, and I have every right to go fight for the heavy. And I'm like, he's probably going to try to rail battle me. But I have charge here, so if things get hairy, I'll close the distance. So I cover my entrance here, cover like the likely area he's going to be to try to rail me, and I correctly predict that he looked to shoot and to leave rather than to shoot and to stay. And so he took a nice amount of damage. I spam a rocket, which stalls him. And that rocket, it's actually good that I didn't hit him. If I hit him with a direct, then that's awesome. But there are some times where you do a lot with the rockets that you don't hit. Sometimes it forces really awkward situations. And so there he decided to stall his movement, which gave me time to reach over here to potentially still aggress on him. Because he had to choose in his mind, do I jump into the rocket and risk taking splash and getting stuck? Or do I wait it out and then jump through the archway? So because of that, I catch him with another rail. And here I know that heavy is coming up. I'm not going to try to like over pursue. I actually during the game thought that he was just maybe a little bit healthier than what he was. So I didn't want to give him the shot to like orb past me in some ridiculous fight and steal the heavy. So right here I'm like, okay, I think he's panicking and he's going to try to leave. I'm going to try to fake him out and catch him. So I RJ up top thinking he might be going through the portal, like through the jump pad down below and to the health. So I'm listening out for him, and I hear that he didn't go that way, and he went back. So what's the worst thing that can happen right now if I go all in thinking that he's at the health? That he doesn't go to the health, and he doubles back and he steals the heavy for free. And all of the good work that I just did is for naught. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I have charge. I'm just going to get super stacked again and look to catch him. So I take the armor. I'm clearing areas, trying to like fake my way around the map, take unpredictable routes, and use sound.
This is it. Now VengeuR, he's going to have to pull out a mirror.
So I catch him. He's just trying to listen out for me. He's just in a really bad situation right now. He has to take a few risks to try to get a good sound cue and to go the correct route. But it's tough against skill bearer since he can instantly turn around. And you can like fake sound like where you're at and like catch people off guard. And so here I catch him, and I know it's time. It's time. It's time to go for this win because the mega is up right now, and I know that. So either I follow him and kill him going to the mega, or I chase him trying to leave. Because the armor, he's not going to be able to pick it up because I know, if you looked back at the beginning of overtime, I'm like running around for a little bit, waiting to pick it up as he picked up the other armor. So I know he can't get it. So now is the time to chase, and it makes shit happen. As he throws the orb here, I took a rail, but it's reduced. It's no big deal. Here, I cancel the charge since it's halfway over. Fake to go the other way. And this is just one of those situations where I've watched VengeuR enough, and I know that he's one player who uses the orb more often to fake than to actually take it. He's like created this habit that's worked really well in the EU scene where he almost never takes the orb, but just creates doubt in people's minds. And so I all in commit to chasing him. And he didn't take the orb. It's too late. So now it's time to chase him down and to kill him. And I've got all the stack in the world. This is the best opportunity. I cannot let him get away. Even though he's going to collect the health, it should be no big deal. But he almost kills me. He almost kills me, even though he was 56 health versus almost 200.
That was the most clutch game I think we've seen in terms of deficit and coming back in the Quake Pro League. That was it. I mean,
and 40's right. That's the largest comeback I've made in the QPL matches so far. I've had a crazy game or two in practice before, but that's I think like was down like 7 with however much to go or whatever, and managed to come back. Roof, yeah, yeah, exactly. Red silencer. There's a little cloud. The thing was, Wootsy, is he was so afraid of me continuing that cycle, that death cycle that I had, that he wouldn't be able to hold on to even 2 frags because of it. I know that's why he did it. He didn't think that he would be able to run out the rest of the game because he wasn't going to be able to get any items if he just tried to stay alive there, and that I would eventually catch him. So I know it's a big risk what he did, but I know why he decided to make it. And like I said, I just needed to be prepared in that situation if he tried to rush the mega, and I was right. If he tried to play the rail game, it's whatever. I would have, collected the mega for free, and then I would have started hunting him down. But yeah, it's just a tough choice. The biggest part of the comeback was that free kill where with like 2 or 2.5 minutes left, where I killed him at the LG stairs. Where like he fragged me before, and then I caught him right at the corner for free. I caught him at the corner, which allowed me to get LG rail. I took no damage, and then I was able to take the light armor from rail and the heavy and start the cycle going with that much time left. If he didn't die right there and it was still like a 5 frag game and he like escaped, he could have probably held on to the game. Because in order for me to kill him there, I would have had to overextend to chase him, and then he would have spawned probably on the heavy and would have got away and been able to defend his lead. Synchronized caster blinks. That's pretty good. And that's the thing. Small comebacks, sometimes it's not the player in the lead's fault. They do almost everything right, but the player coming back, they have to have a little bit of luck on their side, right? They have to be hitting every shot. They have to choose the right guess every time when they're put into 50-50s, et cetera, et cetera. But when you have to make a really large comeback, you just have to fucking believe in yourself. You have to keep trying, and you need the other player to mess up a little bit. Like, I needed him to make a big mistake or two. I did. And like I said at the end as well, when pushing him off the map, if he was just holding a little bit farther back at a different position, he probably would have been able to get away, and then who knows what happens. Like, I still may have been able to do it, but it's like it wouldn't have worked out as well for me. But the fact that he held that aggressive position hoping I would take the jump pad, but I RJ'd up and continued my momentum, it just, everything fell in my lap there, you know. And to make those comebacks, you got to have a few of those things go your way. So
Thankfully, I'm sure he'll correct.
all right, let's skip to the next map.
From Rapha.
Insight, but didn't have dire. Almost went VengeuR's way, but there is wow, going up 2-0.
Holy shit.
Bounce back from that if you're VengeuR.
I mean, look at those stats. Look what he had to do to even get it that close. It's real tough. He definitely
Give me all these items though. Look at that. Nom nom nom. Pac-Man to my way back.
I think
Nixon, VengeuR, knowledge the is he going to do it? And today here, champ
puts you under. But that's a hard Rapha on.
but when we scale,
Your opponent couldn't stop him.
But yeah, and part of the reason why the game, well, I don't want to look at three like screen tears. There we go. Part of the reason why the game was the way it was at the beginning as well is because for some reason on some maps, and it happened a lot on Veil, which it did again in this matchup here, is for the first 3 to 5 minutes, I just could not, the game did not feel as normal. Like I couldn't hit as hard as I usually do. So even like my average best was below average. And I was getting out-aimed like really heavily in the beginning of some of the games. And I was taking, you know, some standard fights and just losing them horribly, like really badly. We're like, it's really hard to tell that until like a minute or two has gone by, like how the game is feeling, like how you're aiming, moving, et cetera, et cetera. Because when you go into the map, you don't really have warm-up time to run around and to feel that. It's like you get into the map, and as soon as all the spectators are like launched in and ready, the game goes. And most of the time that's pretty quick. So you get in the map and you've got like 10 seconds to run around, and you don't even have time to find the guy and to like try to fight and see how everything's feeling. So you just have to like go with the flow as the game's going. So yeah. So in this matchup, like I said, I chose Death Knight to try to, because he got first. He get first pick here? Yes, he did. He got first pick here. We're back on the EU server. He decided to pick Sorlag, which is a really good pick on this map. I decided to pick Death Knight to try to deal with Sorlag's potential mobility and nuke her, and to just have some, you know, some sort of answer for the spit. I wanted to be able to deal dot damage as well. So that's why I picked what I picked. And so from this start here, and I use starting shotgun in this map because it's Sorlag and potentially you could deal a lot of damage. It kind of just depends on who I'm playing and how I'm feeling on the day, whether I use starting machine gun or starting shotgun. But I felt like I should use starting shotgun going into this game. So in this matchup, I collect the rocket, and then I immediately go back to Mega because her mobility is better than mine. And with that spawn, if you go for the rocket and then go for the armor by the window, and they hear you doing that, there's the possibility that they just have gotten heavy and they're rushing for the shotgun, which means they're going to get heavy and Mega, and you're not going to have it. And then at that point, you're not even going to have LG yet to like fight them and deal with them. So it's better to just get the rocket, come back, make sure that you secure the major item for yourself, which is what I do, and then just work to get the guns and then fight after that. So he's like trying to work his way into rocket. I deal a lot of damage, but unfortunately for me, the flames didn't bounce him up like and get him stuck in the wall. It actually like propelled him out of the room. which allowed him to escape. Otherwise, I would have been able to clean that up even with just starting shotgun and rockets. But he escapes. He hits a really nice rail here. This rail, as I'm just leaving the room, gives him so much to do on the map. So I have to leave, pick up the bubble to make sure I'm not railable. Now I take this position to listen for where he's going to be, and I take the opposite like item. So I just have to concede Mega. I take the heavy. Just make sure I get more rockets, and now I'm going to get myself a railgun. He's trying to push me here. So this is just going to be a messy fight, but I have to do it anyway. There's no like free escape. He caught me at the right time. And unfortunately, I don't deal any good exit damage there. So he's really healthy. He does the right thing to come to the middle to block the gun. And that rail is so huge right there. Really nice shot that's going to get him everything. He's a little late for this. He should have just this is a mistake from him. Like, after he dealt all that damage, he just needs to secure full control and then look for me. So he hits this. Fine. He's doing what he should do. This RJ, like, just come through here and just block the portal. Be ready. I'm weak as it is. He takes like some long ass route around, and that allows me to go through full speed and fire the flame strike. So now he's burning, and I've taken the only health he can pick up here. If he tries to drop now, he's really predictable in his movement. So he's like giving me the one opportunity to turn this situation around. Where in reality, he should have not messed up the RJ, like more aggressively moved into the room, and he could have killed me before I even took the Mega. So he takes away the armor, which is fine. And at this point, you don't see my health, but I know I'm not going to make it to the health bubble in time. And even if I do, I'm too weak and there's nothing up on the map. I'm like, I would rather have a reset here. I would rather just be down again and we both respawn with health rather than him getting full control and I can't do jack shit. So I just blow myself up and we just reset. So I spawn at LG. And then here, dude, in this situation, I get it if you're the person with nail gun and the person with LG is chasing you. The person with nail gun in this situation will actually have the advantage because they can spam the predictable like routes. But the amount of damage he does here, just plus forwarding as a Sorlag, trying to chase me down, is just astronomical. This is a fight that should have went horribly for him. Even if he survives, he should have only survived with like 50 health left, and then he would have had a really hard situation. But he somehow hits so much pushing forward in a bad spot. He just worked his way out with incredible aim. He took a big risk and it paid off. So now he's just trying to clear ground, figure out where I'm at. I have to respect his position. So I go low, I go up to LG, I'm like, okay, I can probably go to LG, go to Mega, secure that position, and just trade off the items. So we do that. Now I'm looking for him. And I managed to catch him down here, but that flick rocket is just, again, just like the nails before, I take really bad random damage here in a situation where I could have maybe pinned him and kept him stuck and got a frag back. That amazing rocket bails him out. Then he hits the rail too. So now I'm like, holy shit, let me get this armor and get the fuck out. And I just have to accept that it's tough shit. Things happen. So I'm trying to slow the game down, get some armor. And he's doing what he should. He's trying to figure out where I am so that he can potentially get both items. I like what he's doing here. He catches me here. I figured he might go for the Mega Health, and I'm just going to try to fight here, and if he pushes me, I'll Flame Strike. I do okay damage with the Flame Strike, but not the full 75 plus the dot. So he ends up winning the fight, like he should. Hit him with the rail. There's not even... What the fuck was that? There was not even like a damage sound for the rocket there. And what I would have liked to have seen him do here is after this, I actually would have liked to have seen him just take this health and then RJ to the Mega. That would have been the safer move that like guarantees he gets control and he gets positioned to like try to deny me. What he does right here is actually a pretty big risk. Okay, so he somehow gets a free kill while taking no damage as he moves through. So another risk that pays off. Here, the starting shotgun actually pays off against the tank. I know, like, when I got down there, I'm like, shit. He took the right pathing off the spawn. He's going to catch me. There's nothing I can do. I just need to try to deal max damage, and I do.
Really nice trap, but
So I'm down 5, but
draw things
I
back.
have potential to bring this back.
Shotgun 5-0. We've seen this story before, 40.
He's doing what he should do. He's like looking to deal max damage. He deals a shit ton. I take the armor. I'm going to try to take the heavy. I have to start doing this. So I do. Seeing if I can work my way back to the mega. I do. And I have the timing on it from the previous fight. Even though I died, I knew when he picked it up after he killed me. So I'm all inning here. If he committed to the mega, he's going to die to like a direct rocket and flame strike that I'm going to get as soon as the mega's coming up or not. Regardless, this is a good chance for me to catch him out at the armor and see if I can start making my way back into the game. So I do. He held ground that he shouldn't have. I hit a nice rail. Good spit, and he hits a second one. And there, as soon as I hit the second rail, I should have kept committing. Backing off there is actually a mistake. I needed to keep committing because I needed to get the kill back, and backing off buys some space to get a railgun, to get more armor, to get health. Whereas I could have kept pushing, even though he used spit, and I could have stopped him before he got the railgun, because I did 180 damage to him off the spawn. But I backed off. I'm taking this armor from him. Because like, and also it's the reason I needed to do it is because he's sore leg. He has the lead, so the onus is on me to try to find him and to keep pressure on and to come back. And sore leg has much better mobility than Death Knight. So that is a very big missed opportunity for me there. Every chance that I get to try to come back in this game, like free stuff like that, it has to happen. And so leaving that on the table, that's a rough one. So now he's trying to escape. He's trying to like take position to rail or like collect guns. He's listening out. How the fuck did that hit me? Look at this.
This is what we need to be careful of. So still concentrate on the items, play them well. Rapha did have to bust out that flame strike. So doesn't have it for next.
What the fuck, man? I know I had 115 ping, but still. What? Holy shit. Okay, so I'm still okay. Look at my eye. I'm like, look at my fucking reaction.
Concentrate on the items, play them well. Rapha did have to bust out that flame strike. So doesn't have it for next engagement, but we've already seen how powerful that is.
Okay, but I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then in my mind, I'm like, whatever. Like, just move past it. The mega's up. It's time to focus on getting super stacked. So, so I move towards the mega. And right now, because I took the extra damage, and I haven't been able to deal any in a while, I need to try to separate the item timing a little bit. I can't keep it as close. I need to try to like get the next heavy, and in case I don't find him again before the heavy and mega, I need to buy enough time that I can move into the room. And maybe he's stalling himself on it, and I could kill him. Like he's like holding position too early. So I just wait a little bit, try to create an extra little bit of separation. And now I'm going to start looking for him over here. And I find him. And he dealt a lot of damage. I should still be okay. I go to collect this. I hear he might come through, so I do the flame strike, which is a good move. And then this is just every now and then this is going to happen with the high ping. This isn't his fault. It's not my fault. But like I come through, I do everything right, and I leave, and then I don't know how that rocket hit me direct. That looked like it's like flying above me and going to go behind me. But I take a weird rocket, and so instead of getting out pretty healthy, I'm pretty weak. I know he's coming through here, so I'm like, okay, well, I just need to leave. And then I'm getting lit up by LG, which looks like it's behind me. So he gets a free kill. He's rushing into Mega like he should try to, because he's sore lag and he's super stacked. He's making the right move. And here, this is the wrong move, though. Like, he needed to, like... how do I explain it? So when he moved into this room, since he doesn't have the exact timing on Mega, he needed to just take position at the middle ground or work his way up through shotgun. But instead, like, he takes a little extra time to, like, go down and through the portal and then try to, like, work his... It's just really weird pathing. So he takes damage. Then he doesn't he like might have got like hit by something like the wall, and so his momentum doesn't carry through. So now he's in a really awkward fight where he has a lot of armor but not a lot of health, and I'm going to be grabbing the Mega. So we take a heads up LG fight, and I almost get the frag back. That's a really big mistake from him. He could have maybe, you know, won the fight and won another Mega, but just because of his awkward pathing, he put himself in a really bad situation that he didn't have to be in. So I'm like, okay, let me just get away from this. I did a really good job dealing damage, recoup ammo, see if I can catch him out. He doesn't overcommit to areas. He's playing very nice and patient, listening out. He hits a really nice rocket there, which like I'm like, all right, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, shit. Well, that ruins everything. I'm gonna lose the heavy, so I need to try to get this and just rush back to Mega, which is what I do. That rocket's not too big of a deal. I'm looking to deal some damage here, like catch him going for the railgun. And I do. And then this was tough to accept because I knew I could cut him off at LG, and on my screen, the rocket blew up right on his model as he's running through here. Or maybe it's like the next fight. Oh yeah, that fight on my screen, the rail went right through, and then the combo didn't work. And so he gets a free kill where he should have just been completely punished in the choke. And then soon after, there's like, it comes up where he like runs through there again, and then a rocket like explodes on him but does no damage, and he just goes through. And those are like situations where when you catch Sorlag at chokes like that, you have to be dealing the damage, and since I just came up literally 0 for fucking nothing, there's nothing I can do about that. So, and then this situation here, I like trying to just survive, escape damage. So I go over to rail. As soon as I heard where he was going through the portal, I thought that he might chase through here. And this is him like taking a really weird path again. He should have known that since I am where I am, he should just hold up at machine gun. He has the weapon advantage over me. He doesn't have to come closer to me and give me a chance with rockets, but he takes a bad rocket there. He's going to take another bad one. So I know he's weak now because of the way that he passed around the map, the damage that he took. Like, I have to go for this. Even if he survives the rail, I have to try to rail, switch to shotgun, and kill him. I hit the rail, and then I just am not able to get the shot off. But I had to go for it. It's a 50-50, but when you're getting down like this, you have to take a few little chances like that when they're given to you, especially when the player makes a big mistake like he did beforehand. So he rightly gives up the Mega. He's doing a good job of backing out. And now he's taking position, listening for me. This is good from him to like bait that for damage. I have to try to fight this, and I realize like it's way too 50-50. I have a chance still. And he gets away again. And again, it's just hard to, when you're down by this much in this matchup, it's hard as Death Knight to close in on the Sorlag. That's why when you catch her at those situations, like I explained, you have to maximize the value of catching her. Pinning her with LG, or like getting her stuck, bounced in a corner with rockets. You have to get those kills. If you don't, she will get away and she'll slip away from you. And then she gets into position where it's really hard to push. She could deal a lot of damage, and that's her strength in the matchup. She can't deal as much burst damage as you, but she can use her mobility to soak up more on the map and create more good entry shot situations. So I don't go looking for him at the rail like from high, because I figured if I go there and he's around in another area, he could sneak behind me and get heavy, because even though it's 6 frags, I do still have time. I need to try my best to come back. He's done a good job building up the base stack by collecting the armors, but thankfully I dealt enough damage there. Unfortunately, I just was like doing everything I could to secure the kill and didn't realize until it's too late that the LG was ticking to kill him, and I did the flame strike at the same time to see if I could catch him if he tried to leave. So unfortunately, I don't have it now. So I forced the spawn at rail. I know that he's coming, and this is the situation where on my screen, he wasn't even through the portal yet. He like took the rocket, and then it did nothing, and then he's through the portal. So instead of pinning him against the wall and getting a chance to kill him and then get the Mega, I win like a crazy fight, but he did his job. He stole the Mega. Like, That's the thing when you're playing in the lead like this, like on the other games that I've explained. When you're trading your life, there's like certain situations where it is good to give up a frag when the other guy's trying to come back, as long as you take everything. You deny him the ability to roam free and to be super stacked and just do whatever the hell he wants. You're taking options away from him that way. So the fact that even though he died and he took away the mega, four frag lead with Sorlag right now in this situation is totally fine for him. If I was him, I wouldn't be feeling worried, even with how the last map went. He should still have this in the bag as long as he plays it correctly now. That was a really big situation that he needed to win, and he did.
Win this heavy as well because Rapha is just so.
So now I'm just taking what's given to me. So I move over here. I know that I can't contest him at Rocket. It's too risky. So I just try to get my Flame Strike back. He gets LG quickly and rushes me, and I just deal absolutely no damage. So that one is the nail in the coffin right there. But he wisely just RJs and takes the armor, moves into the room, and I like that he didn't move through.
GBHF.
Thank you. I'll get to that after the next game. I like that he did not move through the portal because his LG was low. He's very conscious of his ammo in this situation. So he took a good spot where he could get some spam rockets, maybe hold good rail angles, and himself not take a lot of damage, and to just slowly work his way back to LG.
Does not want Rapha to gain any momentum as we saw on the map previous.
So yeah, that's just textbook defense from him there. That was really good. Even though he didn't get the mega, he didn't give up a lot of damage. He defended himself properly. He made sure I took a little bit to pay for it. So yeah, so I like what he's doing. Even here, just trying to put on a little bit of pressure, because hitting one rail here would mean the difference. Here, I'm having to take the risk. I covered the other entrance with the Flame Strike. He walked back into it. That secures me the heavy. So here, I just have to try to make shit happen. I thought I would catch him at rail. I do. He does a great job with rockets. And I just have to go for it. I'm down by so much.
Should be enough for VengeuR to see out this match, barring any big mistakes.
So yeah, there were a couple like. Honestly, this game should have, with the way that certain fights went on earlier, this game should have been even worse for me. Like I pointed out, there were a couple fights at the Mega where if he took better pathing, he held better position with how things went. He could have actually had greater control and put even more pressure on me. He didn't have to rely on a few situations where he hit crazy clutch shots, which are very difficult to hit out of position, you know, to like kind of turn things around. He could have more easily ran away with the game here. So even as well as he played, VengeuR even still has room for improvement to be even stronger.
On his side, saying, "If you want me, you're gonna have to come and get me." 10-4. As it looks like VengeuR.
So yeah, so now as long as he doesn't just feed kills, he's won the game. So
Getting back in on this series, Dan.
just doing a good job, making himself hard to find.
Deserved it.
No, really well earned, especially to be able to bounce back after crumbling and map.
This is a good position because no matter where I come from, he can likely deal like rocket spit damage. He can like run.
Shakes you. It has the ability to shake you. Clearly hasn't done that to VengeuR here. A little too experienced for that, but that's good to see because at this level the pressure can get to you.
When was the last time Rapha won a Veil?
Maybe
See, he took another good position where like if I push in, I'm gonna likely take a shit ton of damage.
Somebody needs to have a stern talking to with Rapha and being like, you know what, buddy, we're gonna have an intervention here. But
Roof.
5 VengeuR, a minute 20 away from putting this one in his pocket. Rapha still will be up in the series 2-1, but signs of life from VengeuR as again the first two maps were extremely close.
Yeah,
But yeah, in this matchup to win, you have to be using Sorlag's mobility to really create good opportunities for yourself, and that's what VengeuR did in this game. He did a great job of moving around, making himself difficult to predict. He did a really good job playing the champion matchup to its maximum. And he didn't really have a lot of bad spit uses either. He had really good use of ability. There wasn't like really a wasted opportunity with that, which sometimes like, you know, people will panic spit with Sorlag and it really does affect how the rest of like the next 2 minutes go, but he did a really good job of using it to zone correctly, using it to nuke, to potentially trade. It was really good.
I'd love to see some high flying action a little bit more so here. As 12-6 and the rail coming out, Rapha extremely weak.
So yeah, That's that. Go on to the next.
What that means, taking that one.
Deep Embrace.
Time on such a big background map that it's not
ED champ society
will have accessible for slight
5 to 30 and that might
much because it's
they say VengeuR doesn't really matter break,
but maybe a real I like
you don't have a chance. Who knows?
So
First, it's going to be
so the main key in this matchup is to make sure that I'm taking good positions to not get overwhelmed by Anarchy using injection to rush in, where he's using good speed to round corners and to take over space, as well as like his dodging that gets increased when during the injection state. And so my job in this matchup is it's kind of like in fighting games. I'm playing a footsies battle with him, where most of the battles I want to take are right around LG range. They're like right around, like outside in LG range and even closer, to where based how the fight is going, I can use my grapples to A, try to close the distance to secure kills. Because he has better overall mobility, but I have, at certain points in the game, I have better mobility. It's just on average, he will have better mobility throughout the game because it's his passive movement, whereas mine deals with my ability. So I need to maximize the value out of my hooks throughout the game for closing the gap to deal with his speed and kill him to secure frags, or to be able to like find good scenarios to fight and then use it to leave to secure more items.
map number 4, Deep Embrace between Rapha and VengeuR. We are live, Dan. Let's do it. Rapha, VengeuR right now.
Okay, and so with this start, it's just pretty standard. Just gonna collect the armor, collect the mega, collect LG, and then figure out what he's doing from there. I go to take it.
starting over on Rapha, who gets the mega spawn, no weapons just yet, makes his way over to lightning gun.
So I move myself towards the center, and thankfully the grapple that I took there allowed me to hear exactly when he picked the heavy up. I got into the range to be able to hear it. So I know he might be peeking here, so that's why I look for a little damage. And I don't want to take the light armor yet if I can, because it's only worth 25. I want to look for a little skirmish and then take it, and then start looking to get other guns. So I know he's, I hear him like hoverboarding around. He's like likely around. So here I just creep my way, making him think I dropped. I go to secure myself a rocket, and then I try to get out. And what I should have done here is, as soon as I dropped low, is I should have grappled, like grapple hopped on the ground to get the rail, and I would have been fine. But instead I was being a little too stingy, trying to just get away with using one. And that cost me taking rail damage, as well as I had to use one to survive. Like I almost got knocked off the map. So now I don't really have much mobility. So now I need to like move and try to get away. He hits a crazy direct rocket there. And honestly, I should be dead. I don't know how he missed the rail. So he hits the crazy rocket, misses the easy rail, standard Rapha issue, to be honest. So thankfully, somebody else has this problem from time to time. So I get this and I grapple away, trying to cut him off. He's looking. He's fishing there. He's fishing there to get pretty lucky with that like rocket. That could have went really bad for him. But I back off. I collect this health to make sure that I'm not railable, because I know he just used kit. I just accept. I accept that I'm gonna lose out on the mega, and I know right now, if I grapple over here, I can get the heavy. So I get it. I just am trying to not die. Now I move into position to maybe deny this, and I could have jumped the gun there. I could have been more aggressive to like grapple onto the mega, but I was playing a little too passive, like trying to listen out, and by the time that I heard him coming from LG, it was too late to pin him, and then it was too late with the speed that he moved into the room to try to secure the mega for myself. I should have just, as soon as I didn't see him, I should have just went all in. And me playing passive here leads to this being a very hairy situation. So now I'm trying to make sure I get enough to not be railed. I hit 2 really good rails. And there I grapple away as fast as I can to deny him peeking to his left to potentially rail me. And so I know even if I grab the health, I'm not going to be safe yet, but I can try to listen out to him since Anarchy's pretty noisy and try to take the opposite path and just, you know, trade off items. So I'm going to grab this. I'm listening. I'm trying to spam here. Trying to bait out the rail. I successfully do so. So now I come back here and I'm trying to see if I can catch him with some good damage. I hear that he's like left, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to take all the armor on the map then. I'll take all the armor. I'll see if I can catch you going to Mega. And since he decides to go up here, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty healthy. I have a grapple, and he only has the 1 armor to his name. I managed to get everything else, so I know that he might have kit, but this is still a good situation for me to try to like make work. So I hear him kit, and I'm just trying to be ready for him to drop and just make myself difficult to hit here. So I hit a nice rail, missed the follow-up. It's a good one from him. Looking for him to enter or leave. I know this is coming up, and I take this position and go up the jump pad because I have 2 grapples. If I didn't have grapples, I wouldn't be going up there right now. I would be like backing off towards the heavy, trying to maybe deal damage to him as he picks this up and just secure position on that. But since I have the mobility option right now, and I hit the rail, right? Because he collected the light armor late. We had to fight at Mega. He takes the rail damage. I know he doesn't really have a lot of anything right now. So me getting all of this is really beneficial and starving him out of the map. So I miss, no big deal. He hits me with a nice rail as I exit, but I look for him to try to gain position on the heavy. He's trying to push the advantage. He's trying to make this a non-50-50, and he's trying to secure this next heavy. So I catch him moving to go to the bridge. That rail secures the entire map for me now. So I collect those first since I know I have a little time. Now I'm looking for him. And I know I don't have much LG, but I should have enough ammo to try to finish this frag. So I wait to dodge that out, and unfortunately he just hits that one. But it's okay. I got the kill. And now here I'm really weak. I know Mega's coming up, but I'm taking a little bit of a risk here because I know that right after the Mega, the armor's going to come up here. He's likely going to spawn at rail. And based off of the sound, I'm going to do one of 2 things. I'm going to try to collect the health and concede the Mega and take the armor. Or based off his position, I'll collect the health and then make maximum value out of the Mega and then concede the armor itself. So I'll try to do one or the other. So I hear him at Rocket, so I know, okay, now it's okay to get this. As I hear him like chasing up here, I'm like, okay, shit, I have to use a grapple to make sure I get here in time or he can rail me. Nice rail from him. But because I grabbed the Mega when I did, I could survive 2 rails. So now I need to try to catch him before the next heavy. He grabs the armor. We're both, it would take 2 rails to kill either one of us. So what I do here is try to take an odd route, and then I'm going to use my grapples to obtain good positioning. So I look to hit a good rocket as he's up here, and I'm going to grab the LG cells. I do, and once I hit that, I'm like, I got to try for this. I know the exact timing of the heavy. I need to see if I can make this work. I do, but wonderful rocket from him. That's like when I talked about it the other day for, you know, newcomers and players that are wanting to get better and they seem to struggle with rockets. Hold your shot for just a split second. Stop just like firing and holding fire as soon as you see people. Hold the right angle and set up your shots. Because he didn't panic there and try to like air rocket me, he saw that where I was going to land and he aimed it perfectly, and we managed to have a trade there rather than me going up 2-0 and getting the heavy armor and more control. It's very nice from him to make the most of a bad situation there. And so here I get caught with a really nice rail as he moves through its full speed. I don't use the grapple to try to get heavy because at the angle I'm at, I can't do anything about it. So I'm like, this is just a shit show, and I need to try to make the most of it. So I dodge the rail as we land, and I just don't happen to kill him. So he ties it up, but it's okay. I auto-spawn, I make sure I secure guns, I start moving towards trying to fight for the Mega. Well, really nice shot there that cripples me. So now I just need to try to deal a little damage and escape. I collect the armor. looking to cut him off and deal damage before the next heavy since there's a lot of time. And here, I needed to try to close the gap and deal shotgun damage. Me trying to drop off costs me... It pretty much gives him a free kill here, which is really bad. So really nice shot from him. He gets a nice kill. I know the timing of the Mega, though, and I have grapples. And so as soon as I'm moving through here and I hear him over here, I just have to react to this. I move in. I secure position. I use her double jump passive to create like doubt in his mind on where I'm at. And this is all about just denying him full control, because giving him the heavy in this scenario and the med kit when there's like nothing up on the map would have been a complete nightmare for me. So this is a situation where I have to create a good fight. So I do. I all in. So I managed to make him kit and die here. So now my job, I'm trying to force him to spawn at shotgun if I can. He's either going to spawn at shotgun or LG. He spawned at shotgun, which allows me to get the armor, and now I just need to try to slowly equalize what's going on here. Get out of here, Duncan. Get out of here. All right, and then here, he's taking a big fucking risk here with no armor or anything to try to kill me at this health. And he has no kit. This is... this is ballsy and dangerous. And he pays for it. I should have been much healthier than this, but I like whiffed the first rocket. But I'm okay. I'm not as healthy as I should be, but I'm all right. And so right now, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he likely has rail. I need to like spam, use heavy machine gun, and try to wait this out. And in reality, I should just not peek at all, which is what I'm doing. Yep, continue not peeking. And there, I should have, again, not peeked. I should have just waited, just relied on my item timing. And then the better route would have been to like wait here and then jump off to the right and grapple to this position, which is like denying the rail angle that he's looking at back here, because he thinks I'm either hiding and going to peek here where I did or be on the left side. So that's the more optimal play that I should have made based on the situation in the game. So now I have to try to make another play since he missed this rail. And so I'm going to try to juke with grapples to get this heavy. So now I'm trying, as soon as he allowed me to get the heavy there and he missed, I have to like push in to get this kill. Any more time that I don't close the gap gives him a chance to, because it's a good rocket fight around the pillar. And if I guess wrong, I'm fucked. So this gives me the opportunity to push it to his face, force the issue, and clean up the frag. So I do. I think I force him at shotgun again, which I do. So I'm just moving to secure LG ammo. I move to secure the mega position. And now I have plenty of time to work my way back to heavy. So I should try to go get a railgun and then look to move in with a grapple. He drops to try to all-in me here. So I don't know how that other rocket didn't hit, but the splash didn't work. So now I just need to work my way over here. I take good position to defend this, and he's like, the only way he wins this is if he all-ins and hits it's like a max damage shotgun from medium range. So the best thing for me to do here is to just hold fire. Just try to like damage him the entire time as he comes through. Back myself up, which is what I do, and I collect a free kill. Right here, if I play this correctly and he doesn't hit crazy shit, I should start being able to open the game wide open. I collect the health first, work my way back. Taking this. This is bad because what I should have done is realize with this ammo, I'm not going to be able to fight him for this armor. I should have collected the LG ammo below the heavy and then worked my way around like to high ground to defend the next mega. Not doing so has cost me position and given him that for free without taking, good position in time. I could have been here earlier and then with sound cues dropped at good times to like deal damage and make it even more optimal. So right now he's taking good position. I did really good damage. Unfortunately, I don't deal more. And he's taking a huge risk here, thinking I'm just going to jump. And I just don't deal jack shit. And then here he just rushes in with LG, manages to luckily not like take 2 bad rockets, and he manages to win control back. Whereas there, like, 8 times out of 10 when he moved to Tribolt, he's going to take really bad damage and he's out on control, and then the game is going to be wide open for me. But I failed like multiple situations in a row. After the good rocket on Mega, I didn't hit any rails, like on easy exit points. So that was bad by me. Then somehow not hitting him at Tribolt is another like dangerous situation where he worked through for free. And then when I moved over to the heavy, I didn't have a grapple anymore. I should have positioned myself at the pillar instead of like where I was. Because if I had a grapple, then I would just move and grapple onto the heavy. But what I did was bad for not having not dealt damage at Tribolt, and he did the right thing to rush in to where he was doing. I should have been positioned better.
A few of these pushes, he's tried to make a surprising move, and it hasn't worked out, cost him a frag.
So I know this is coming up. I try to just deal damage. Since I don't, I just use the grapple to escape. Here, the rocket like propels him to me, and so instead of being able to escape, I realize, well, shit, that rocket actually helped him. I just need to try to deal max damage and die again. It's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. So now I take position. I have one grapple to make this a really tough area for him to fight. Like, this is really hard to push Athena even when she's like 125, because during this fight, since you're not Doom, you're not Ranger, etc., I can use the grapple to get above him and make it easier to hit rockets. Like, I'm aerial above him, and so I'm listening out to where he is. I'm like, okay, he's coming through the portal. I need to try to fire here, and then based off of what happens, use my grapple to try to turn this around. I hit a really nice rocket. I back off, and I just destroy him. And so like, all right, I've made this work. Now I need to move. As I go through here, the health is gone. So I know that he can't work his way to the armor fast enough. I need to start moving to its position. Just what I do. I hear him leave low, so I'm looking to secure guns, looking to secure position. I know there's a lot of time before Mega left, so I'm looking to see if I can catch him out. I do some decent damage, stealing the armor from him. And here I'm leaving the Mega up because I value all of the armor right now. And I'm looking to see if I could catch him take one bad path and get a free kill. I don't. He takes nice pathing as soon as he hears where I'm at. He took a really good path through the map to make himself difficult to rail. And he works his way over to the Mega. Very good map awareness by him to know what I was doing. And so now we're pretty even here. But I know the timing of both items now. I have the lead by 1. I know that both are around the same time, so I just need to keep playing around that. Now I just need to keep allowing him to have high ground. I can't really get it for free, so. Oh, that's really risky what he was doing. If he took a bad rocket there, could have been the end. That's good Tribolt, but it's not enough for me to try to push in. Now something I could have done there is as soon as I saw him cross to the Mega, is like, I have 3 grapples. I could have grappled over to the heavy machine gun and tried to cut him off and deal damage and just leave the heavy up. But it's okay to play the safe option. Like right now, I'm trying to play it safe. I heard the jump pad, so now I'm like looking to take position. I have grapples now to make myself unpredictable in this fight, which is good for rockets. And if I had super shotgun, it would be really good as well. But I don't. So now since I don't hit a follow-up, I back off. Hit a really nice rail. Just trying to keep myself hard to hit. I know heavy and Mega are at the same time. I move back over here again to secure heavy position. Because this area is so much more defendable as Athena. Because, like I said earlier, I can use grapples to be really tricky in this area. I hear him trying to push this and take this over because he has a feeling he needs to control heavy to come back in the game rather than Mega. Crazy rocket to knock me off, so now I'm just trying. I'm like, well, that's unlucky, but it's okay. Let me just work my way out of this situation and go collect Mega. Well, he collects heavy. I utilize the passive, the double jump, to get that shit, and I get out. Now here, I need to not take a lot of damage. Hit a really nice rocket, like cutting off the LG angle for him to push me. I use my mobility to cut him off up here because he's overstepping his bounds. It's a good risk to take there, especially since this armor is coming up after. If I didn't hit the direct rocket before, then I wouldn't do it, but that entry damage is key. So now I'm like, okay, he'll likely get to heavy again. I don't need to risk pushing him, especially since I was low on LG ammo. So I'm like, I'll just take more armor, take the Mega, still make them around the same time. I hit really nice damage here. I'm using my grapple to be unpredictable again. I catch all this damage, and I know now Even if he rails me, I need to grapple in to try to kill him. Like I said, the keys to the game in this is to find small opportunities where he makes positional mistakes and move in with rockets and shotgun. And that was the key. And right here in my mind, I'm like, this game should be a fucking wrap. I made him use injection so he doesn't have it off the spawn. I know I'm likely going to make him spawn at rocket, so I should just destroy him coming up these steps. Which I start doing, and then he just hits this crazy random rocket. Like, I don't know how I didn't dodge it, but I didn't. So now I take a direct rocket, which shouldn't have happened. This should be a 9-5 game because he's literally doing the most like standard thing: grab the gun and come up the stairs. This should just be over. But that rocket leads to potential opening for him. So I'm like, okay, well, this is bad, but let me use the grapple to secure this and get out. So I do that. Now he's chasing with machine gun. He has machine gun and rockets, and I'm like, okay, I took bad damage, but if I do this correctly, I still have all the weapons. I should be able to fight for this heavy. So right now I'm like listening out for him and where he is, and I'm thinking he might be going this way. So that's why I haven't grappled up yet, because I don't want to accidentally like go up since I only have one and go like right into his face, and he gets lucky with 2 rockets and kills me. So I'm listening out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to deal some damage. I'm going to take this position, make it difficult for him to move around. I'm looking for health. It's like, okay. And then I'm like, man, this should be easy. He's like taking really tough position. Even though he's grabbed some health, I should be fine. I have a grapple to go get the heavy. He's just pushing with machine gun and rockets in like really bad situations here. And then he hits another direct. He hits a crazy ass midair as I'm going to grapple to the heavy. It's like all these small little miracles off of that spawn had to happen for this to be a potential comeback for him. But that full direct rocket he hit there gives him the chance to get the heavy. Now he's got position. He's going to get all the guns because I can't risk going to LG there and get caught with rockets. So I have to dodge. I have to get out of here. So now I only have, what, shotgun, nail gun, rail. And now I have to, like, guess where he is, just avoid him for a while. I know that heavy and mega are around the same time, so I just need to keep being annoying and not take a bad rocket here. So I escape. He's doing a good move here on trying to cut me off at mega. He thought I would just go for it, but now I'm dipping below him. Just really trying to make myself tough to find. As soon as I hear him go that way, I go back over here. And now I actually need to give up the mega. Me going for the mega while he's got good position and the kit, I didn't react to his movement in time to go get it while he was getting heavy, so this is really good by him. It's still not the worst because I could take good position and make myself tough to fight. So now I'm trying to get rocket and get out. I needed to grapple immediately. Just like grapple down below and make it so it's almost impossible for him to drop on me. Instead, I'm like trying to fight against him, like while he's peeking, like hoping that me having the bottom will be the advantage, because in LG fights, when you're on the bottom, you actually have the peeker's advantage because the player has to show their head. They show like more of their body before they can see you to shoot you, just the way the angles work. So the player on bottom, when you're even on LG, has the advantage. He's so stacked, and he's fighting this out, and I know that I can't escape by the time that he dealt so much damage without just like getting obliterated, so I just decide to fight it out and deal his max damage. Here, this is peculiar. What he could have done is forced me to spawn at shotgun and possibly railed me and crippled me off the spawn. Instead, he decided to take the safe route, which is still okay, but he could have optimized it even more. And he took the armor. He gets a free kill because I misjudged the sound and where he was. He mixed it up really well, and so he caught me off guard. And he gets a free kill and ties it up here. So I know about afterwards he'll go get the heavy. So I still am keeping track of the timing, even though the game is really hectic. And even though I shouldn't be here, I don't give a shit about that. It's like, I am here. What do I do to survive? What do I do to win? He's trying to catch me with damage, and the man's going for like a really lucky one through like the smallest hole. Like, he should know that he can't like move and shoot trying to do that. So he's hurt himself twice. I work my way out. Hit a nice rail, and that rail buys me space.
Him the advantage, and now VengeuR too early on this heavy, and with those two rockets, you gotta wonder.
And so here, I knew the timing of heavy, and I have a decent amount of grapples. I don't want to let him get it for free, and so I'm not looking to engage here. I'm not looking to come here and engage. I'm looking to make myself difficult to hit. So I go for the drive-by rail. If I hit the rail, at this point, I'll go all in. If I miss it, I go over here. So now I grapple really fast, and I do another drive-by. And so I punish him for this. And now I'm going to work my way full speed over to the Mega. I'm covering it really well with Tri-Bolts. Just taking my time. Because I know the damage I did after heavy is so important. This is a really good peek from him, and it's something I should have been ready for. I just should have, as I'm moving, just be firing. Just fucking be spamming something, firing. Just doesn't matter. I should have just been shooting just in case. So that's good. Good job from him taking advantage of that small, tiny window of carelessness just to leave. Just me thinking that he'll probably leave, but him sticking around made this almost even. So I start playing for this armor because I know the cycle. I know that it comes up before heavy. I slowly start moving my way into position because guess what? I know that the light armor and the heavy are around the same time. But what's most important going into overtime right here? Me getting full control. And here, I don't know why he did this. I really don't. When it happened, it almost made me feel bad. Like, as I'm, like, pushing in for the kill and realize that this shit is over. In my head, I was like, why did you do this? I was like, I'm going to win. I've won the game. I was like, he threw it away. He grabbed this armor. I don't know if he, like, really mistimed the heavy or just fucking forgot he has no LG ammo, but he moves over. He doesn't have kit yet, which if he had kit and LG ammo, then maybe this is okay. But he moves in here with terrible weapon selection, gambling to hit rockets at a disadvantageous position, and I just lit him up. And it's over. That's it. So a crazy game just ends off of a really, just to put it simply, just a really bad decision. Just sucks that the game ended that way, but it is what it is. So I don't know. I don't know why he made the decision to do that. If he felt like he couldn't hold out in time. Like if I were him, I would have just tried to leave me be, just give up control and survive, like hide for a bit, because his kit was coming up. It was coming up in like 7 seconds. So at the very least, he can get to like 150 something and 50 armor without collecting anything else at that point. He just needed to play for overtime and just avoid me. I don't know why he did what he did. So yeah, just very unfortunate situation to see, but I punished it properly, and when you are gifted stuff like that, you just have to take it. Like, you can feel bad after the game. Just fucking punish the mistakes during the game and just feel bad about it after. So. So yeah, guys, that's how the cookie crumbled there. But again, like I said, it is a miracle and a half that it even got to that point. Like, you know how Razy says that like he hates playing VengeuR because VengeuR pulls off some amazing, like, just stuff that nobody else does. Well, that situation when I'm up 3 frags and I should kill him when he does the most simple thing off the spawn, know he's gonna do it, can punish him, but then it's 2 of the most random direct rockets within a span of 15 to 20 seconds, which completely changed the game. It's just it's just the VengeuR magic that he pulls off sometimes. So, because that game should have just been over minutes before then, and I just should have been able to like keep pressure on and run the clock out. So yeah, but like I said, especially in the draft phase, VengeuR has gotten much, much better with his champion pool, with the draft phase over the last year. He does a much better job with that now than he used to, which gives him better chances during games. And just overall, VengeuR is such a much better player than he was at the beginning of QuakeCon 2019, the kickoff tournament. He's improved so much, and he is so close to making it into the grand finals. Like, I just hope he doesn't get too upset and down on himself after the loss this last weekend. Like, he just needs to go back and look at what he was doing, and I think he needs to play more high pressure situations in games. Like, that's why a lot of the time, like, once it gets towards the tournament time, I look to play all the tough players. Like, I look to play everyone. I look to be ready for all of their play styles. And I look to play people that I know are going to pressure me because I have to think on my feet. I have to be thinking the best that I can when other players are making great decisions time and time again. And when you're playing like, yes, playing like lesser players can build your confidence, but which can help, how you maximize control. But it's all about like when control is in flux and when you're out of control. And practicing really tough games can really help. So, and I don't know what his practice schedule was like or whatever because he wasn't streaming anything. So I don't know like who he was playing and whatnot. I know he's playing probably like Garpy and Hell a lot, and probably played Razy a little bit, but yeah. How would VengeuR be in TDM if it were still a thing? Depends on the teammate. VengeuR's aim was really good in 2v2, but he, unlike his duel awareness, he lacked a bit more in TDM awareness. Like I remember when playing against him. But that's not like it's something that he couldn't learn or develop. I think he's a very talented player. He could be good at TDM, at sacrifice, whatever it is, as long as he put the time in and he had good teammates that had good structure. Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys a little bit here. Just give me a sec. And then I'm gonna peace out though. I'm not gonna do the finals today. I'm gonna get ready to make dinner because it's almost 8 p.m. Lone Star time. All right, let me get to all the alerts from earlier. So let's see here. So at the beginning of the stream, Baka_CS, thank you for the year-long resub. Thank you. Subtle Hustle, thank you for the 13-month resub. Adam in Tokyo, thank you for the 5-month resub. Starkgazer, thank you for the $10 donation. And thank you, man. Thanks for the support. Flowy71, thanks for the raid earlier. Yanyo, thank you for the 29-month resub. Don't worry about the interruption. It was no problem. Noise Twitch, thank you for the 2-month Prime Gaming resub. Whoop whoop. To Hacker, thank you for the 38-month Prime Gaming resub. Thank you. Thanks for the congrats. Shaozor, thank you for the 42-month resub. Thank you. And then Kirk Caster, wonderful caster from. Are you from South America? I think so. Thanks for the raid. Like I wish my Spanish was better because he casts the game like almost better than any. Like you hear Spanish casters like get fucking super hyped for like football matches or for like races and stuff like that. He's like better than them at Quake. It's pretty amazing to hear him cast. And then Jozu, thank you for the 2-year Prime Gaming resub. Thank you. 2 years. 2 years, boy. But yeah, I'll field questions for a little bit, and then let's go. Give me a sec here. Nope, that's not what I want. Can I just can't do that? Whatever. I can just do this for now. Yeah, let me just do this. I can just talk with you guys for a little bit. Get chat up here. Dicano, Rapha, do you have any tips about timing and not muddling the order of the times in your head? Well, the first thing that you need to do is to get good at knowing the order. You need to get good at the order in which all the items are coming up. So in your mind, as you're getting better, you need to keep track of, okay, it's light, then mega, then light, and heavy. That's the order in which they're coming up. Or it's heavy, then mega, then light, blah, blah, blah. So you know that. Then, as you get better at always knowing the order of the items, then you focus on timing the major items to the second. You're always keeping track of the order of everything, but then you're timing the mega and the heavy to the second as often as you can throughout the game. And a good way to do that is to say the timings out loud to yourself. If you need to repeat yourself like a bumbling idiot, it's fine. Do whatever you need to do to help yourself to make it more natural to you. The more that you do it, the easier it'll be to not have to do that. Then once you get good at that and you're multitasking all of that, then you start trying to time the light armors as well. That will really help. And you just go from there. It just takes time and repetition. A Bauer's audio, it's more, it's a bit of both. I have a really good understanding of the game and like limitations of both players. I am thinking about a lot of shit at once, but it's more like a lot of the fighting and combat is on instinct, and it's like as soon as you hear a certain sound or you know that they're at a certain position at a certain time, you just have to react instantly, knowing what the best move is, because you're already thinking about their position and what they might do. So you're thinking about what are the best options for you and the best for them, and how to maximize the positive EV out of all that. Mr. Nero, it's because of the champion matchup. If it was a different matchup and it's like two VQ3 champs on Molten Falls, really you don't want to get down more than like 3. But the fact that I'm playing a super mobile champ versus a champ whose mobility requires him to rocket jump around or use his ability, where I'm just using my passive, it gives you a little bit more leeway, especially with how Skill Bearer can be played on that map and the chokehold you can put on it. So it's like a different threshold for different maps and different matchups. Would I do a heart rate monitor stream sometime? I mean, I would need to buy that stuff, but I wouldn't be against it. Rafa, who did you feel had the best aim in the stage finals? Honestly, Maxter, Nosfa, VengeuR, Cypher all had fucking amazing aim. It was like unequal, to be honest. I think Razy's aim was really, really good too, but just like barely below theirs. And then my aim from on certain maps during the tournament was very, very good as well. And then in the grand finals, my connection finally didn't have fucking packet loss, and everything felt really smooth. And so when you finally get two people that have connections that are smooth, the game feels amazing. And so both of us were hitting each other so hard regardless of the ping. And it was a really enjoyable 3 maps to play. I mean, Raw Quake 3 is fine, but I really like Quake Champions and what the champions bring to the table. And like the depth to the game that they add. It's actually really fun in team modes. Like, Sacrifice is probably the best team mode of any game I've ever played. And it utilizes the champion's abilities so well. And like how they work together. Why was I chewing gum? Sometimes chewing gum just like, it's just a nice like calming thing. It's like something to do, and it's like I'm somebody that taps my leg constantly, and it like keeps me from doing that when the keyboard's on my lap because I'm just chewing gum and I'm fidgeting and like doing something while I'm focused. Yeah, Jordan chewed gum a lot too. Who do you think I watched growing up? From Shaita. Addict, yeah, I think it's fine what you're doing, like working on your mechanics. So work on your aim, work on your movement, like understanding when to use weapons when, and then move into duel. Like once you have like that down, and you'll be able to judge much better your mistakes, whether they're based off of aim, movement, mistiming, things like that. So yeah, you're doing fine. And if you want to just play some duels randomly now, that's okay too. Like if you find duel fun, fucking go for it. Yeah, Jazzy, I didn't show too much emotion like during the pre-finals interview and whatnot, but it was really something special to play Cypher in a final again after it had been 8 long years since we had last played each other in the final at DreamHack Winter for Quake Live. And, I know so many people have been wanting to see us play in a final in Quake Champions this whole time, and it just hasn't worked out. That we'd met each other in like bracket play quite a bit, but never in the grand final. And yeah, it's just after all the years and all that, like, how many times we've played each other, and like back in the day, how we used to root for each other whenever the other lost, because it's like if we lost and that guy won, it like pushed us even more the next tournament to fucking catch up to the other guy. It was like a very healthy rivalry, in my opinion, and that helped us push each other to the limit. So yeah, it was very special to play against him in a final once again. Rough, any new map rotations stage 3? I have no clue at the moment, so that's still to be seen. All right, thanks, Chimichanga. Appreciate it. Exactly, super friend, and especially since I'm a northerner, and people from the Midwest and the north of the U.S., I guess there's like, I don't know why, but when we chew gum, we fucking chomp on it. So I'm out here destroying that gum while I play. There's like no. It's like I'm either destroying the gum or packing it to the side. There is no like light chewing or anything. Used to piss Tori off so bad because she's somebody who's like, her sense of hearing was really good. So if she could like hear me chewing, even though I try to chew with my mouth closed, I would chew gum so hard. Fucking go spit it out. I can't stand. I can't fucking stand how you chew like a northerner. Stop it. So funny. What FOV is best for beginner ELO? I'd say between like 110 and 120, because it allows you a nice like depth, field. What is it called? Fucker name. Peripheral vision. Whereas like if you have a lower FOV, yes, you may be able to aim a little bit better, but it makes moving a bit more awkward, and your peripheral is reduced, so you get surprised more often, especially when your game knowledge isn't as good. Oop, that like skipped way too far. What do I think? Proof. Neo EMC squared. Rapha, what do you think of people who pick up this game and immediately just duel and only duel, no team modes? That they are definitely a masochist. because there's nobody else to blame but yourself. And it's somebody who really likes they're like from the fighting game community because it's all on them and playing the other player and that's it. So, but we need more of those, man. We need more duelers to rise up. Yo, what up, 40? How you doing, bud? Osiris Goled, I don't really know how to correctly answer that, but I'm trying not to think about too much in the past. The most is like the last cycle or two, so that if I've been out of control and I haven't heard when the item is picked up, I can maybe judge when it's been picked up based off of context clues and like read between the lines. So like I quickly try to think about, okay, this happened and this happened, so it's likely at this. So I at least have a guesstimate. And like then I can know the cycle, even if I don't know the exact timing. And then I get the exact timing back, you know. But like I said, for the most part, I'm trying to time everything as to the T as possible throughout the entire game. It's very hard to manage all that, but I do a decent job. Roof. Tranquitron Conquista? Conquista? Okay, Rafa, I'm just starting to play Quake Champions, get obliterated with one shot at spawn when playing humans. Should I just play with easy bots and then cry in the corner? Roof. Well, I mean, if you don't really know the maps and you're playing, you don't know where to go off the spawn yet. So, if you want to play bots to just try to learn what you should do when you're killing them, etc., or like if you randomly die to like a nightmare bot, and then like where you're likely going to spawn, then you can learn like, okay, when they're in this position, I'm likely going to spawn here, etc., etc. So what should I do when I spawn here and they're there, and what's going on? So then you learn how to react like that. So likely what's happening right now is you're just like going for the nearest weapon super predictably every time. So you're just getting crushed. Like people are just cutting off the weapons and destroying you. So you need to learn when it's safe to go for them predictably and when it's not, and you need to play the safer angles, make them like try to react to what you're doing and go the opposite direction. I remember Gatorade gum? Not really. I mean, maybe it sounds kind of familiar, but what maps do I feel most comfortable on? Well, it's my job as a professional player to be comfortable on all the maps in the map pool. Whatever the 7 maps are, it's my job to be able to, at the end of the day, even if I don't like the map, it's my job to be fucking great at it. To the point where even the best player on the map at the time within the circuit, I have a chance to steal it from them, even if it's not my quote unquote best map. So yeah, that's how I look at it. It doesn't matter whether I like the maps or not. I always make sure that I'm prepared for them. Because I'll be honest, there's been maps over the course of my playing career which I've been like, this map is a shitty ass map. I was like, but it's here. It's in the pool. I'm not gonna limit myself to not being able to play it. Like, why should I do that? Why should I like I've always thought it's been a bad thing to ban one map all the time because you could run up against somebody where it's like it's their second weakest map. So why not pick it and have the advantage over them? Always be able to play everything. No ultra wide monitor for me. 25-inch monitor is like as wide as I want to go. Once it starts going past 25, it's like too much for peripheral to take in, I think, when you're playing this fast of an FPS. So that's why I'm on that 360 hertz, 25-inch monitor, and I mean, it's the sweet spot. Excuse me. Divine SL, I don't think there's like a champion matchup like that where it's that drastic. But yeah, there are definitely some where depending on the skill level of the player and how good they can push the champion, they could definitely push it in their favor, like a 70-30 matchup, I would say. But you still got to execute at the end of the day. But we don't really see most of those matchups at all happen in the Quake Pro League. They're all pretty even. Jazzy, no clue. I'm just gonna enjoy watching. And fucking Ricardo, better pick it up, man. What is going on with that second car? What is happening? Rapha, what do you think about Quake Champions now? Better if you attack and duel, or better if you play defense? Both. There is no just one. You have to be flexible. I will say it is a bit more difficult to play defensive in Quake Champions because compared to Quake Live, it kind of feels like the sound range in Quake Champions is just a bit smaller than Quake Live, not by much. But also Quake Champions, certain champs move so much faster that you can't just hold position and listen and go the opposite way all the time. Sometimes they just overwhelm you with your speed. So it's much harder to play a perfect defensive game. There's definitely certain maps, like right now, Molten Falls is like the easiest in most matchups to play defensive. I would say that and Ruins at the moment. Those are the two. Blood Run was fucking horrible. I am so glad Blood Run is out of the pool. It's just way too easy to just run and run and run and run. It's like just you shouldn't have a map where it's that easy to just constantly run and not need to contest for shit. It needs to be more difficult. A Bowser audio. Rapha, how do you structure your practice throughout the week? Is there any relation to how athletes train with having specific quality days, an example, speed work, long runs, and other easier cross-training days? Well, since we know our matches are going to be on Sundays, most of the time what I do is I make Friday. So I practice throughout the week, but then I try my best to make Friday my really hard practice day. I put in the most hours. And then on Saturday, I'm relaxing. Saturday, I'm like, if I play, I only play for like one set, maybe like an hour or something. That's it. And I'll do a bit more reviewing on Saturday. And I just let my mind kind of go over the subconscious things that I've learned throughout the week. And then I just like think about everything that I've processed through the week. I game plan for going into the match for like the things I need to look out for, what I need to maximize, what I need to minimize. And then I go to it from there with like a fresh mind, fresh body going into Sunday. And then once I get closer to the playoffs, I don't practice that way. I try to practice like I slowly ramp up my schedule from day to day, like as the weeks get closer, so that I'm getting more used to playing more throughout the day, since at some point I'm going to have to play a lot of matches during one of the days. Since, I've been playing months without having to do that, you need to get back into the habit of pushing yourself to your limit multiple times. SK Majin, I would just say just work on making sure that you're breathing when you're playing. You're probably like holding your breath a lot, and so that makes it even worse when you're nervous. You'll get even more shaky with your aim. But yeah, it's just something that you need to work on over time. There's no magic answer to help you with that. That's just something you personally have to like work through that struggle. 360 hertz? Nah, I am on the Alienware. Here. There you go. Did I ever play Unreal Tournament? As a kid, yeah. I just played like the single player. Didn't really play the multiplayer. I liked Quake 3 more, so I stuck with that. And so did my dad. And I liked playing Quake with my dad because it was getting around the time where we had two computers and we could actually play together. Didn't have to like wait for him to be done and then I could play a little bit. All right. Well, I'm done for now. Sorry if I missed your guys' questions, but I've answered enough. I need to stop. I need to start preparing dinner. I don't want it to get too late. So yeah. But I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will either, like I said, I will either do the finals review tomorrow after the race sometime, or I'll just wait till Monday. So if I don't do it tomorrow, no big deal. It'll happen Monday. So, but yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for all the resubs and donations and whatnot. I really appreciate the support, guys. It helps me to do what I do to push myself to be my best. I really appreciate it. Let's find out who be out here right now. Who'll be out here? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is a great friend of mine. She does. It's every month of May. She does huge donation drive for St. Jude. If you don't know what St. Jude is, most of you probably do, but St. Jude is like it's like a cancer research hospital and support system for children. So any and all donations go towards helping the kids out that are really in need. And it helps it so that the parents don't have to pay for anything. So yeah, I'm gonna host her. I really hope that if you want to, you go ahead and you give a little bit. If you don't, no big deal, man. Just tell somebody else about it. I think her and Effortless are playing something together right now. I don't know exactly what, but yeah, gonna drop her a host. I appreciate you guys. Love you, and I will check you out either tomorrow or Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.